Hey, you guys, it's Negra and Dida TV here. We're almost at 100K. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also remember I go live on Wednesdays evenings. I drop an episode every Sunday, 11 o'clock. Make sure you guys comment. If you guys have any suggestions, any questions, whatever it might be, drop a comment. Let's get into this episode.
Hey, check this out. If you want to get into Navy Fed and get 20,000 in 95 days, comment the word credit. All right, come here. I already bombed this right here. Fix your credit. If you're Latino, you need to wake up. Fix your credit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Indicted TV. I'm your host, Negra. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. Before we start, I want to give a big shout out to Rick Ramos Boxing Gym and to Hop 22 Barbershop. Thank you so much. And Teed Up Chicago. And on today's episode, we have Nelson.
Yeah.
Welcome to Indicted TV.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us, Nelson, tell me where you're from, where you grew up. How was the inside of your house growing up?
So I'm from Chicago. Well, I was born in Puerto Rico.
Okay, Puerto Rico.
Yeah. There till I was like 3 years old, and then went to New York. Mom and dad divorced. Mom came to Chicago. Dad went to New York. I ended up going with my dad.
Oh, damn. So you picked your dad, or he just took you?
Well, no, it's funny that you say that because there was, at the time, there was four of us. There was my older brother who passed away, my older sister, me, and my little brother. And when the divorce happened, my dad was like, I'm taking Nelson, you could take the rest of them. And my mom was like, no, I'm taking Nelson, you could. I guess I was the love child. I don't know. Probably, I could say I was the favorite. But yeah, so I went with my dad to New York. And I was in New York from 3 to 12, maybe.
And how was those years for you with
Wonderful.
your dad?
It was great, man. Grew up in Long Beach, Long Island.
I was like, Long Beach is not California.
Yeah, no. Well, actually, it's funny because they got a Long Beach, they got an Oceanside, just like in California. They got the same kind of stripped out. But so it's it's a beach town. Grew up middle class, you could say middle class.
Which is good.
It's a good school.
Because we're not going to say that you went through some craziness besides your parents getting a divorce.
Right.
But that part you probably don't even remember it.
Yeah, not really, no.
So it wasn't like too much trauma.
Yeah. So I, and then at 12, I guess they made a deal. My mom and dad made a deal. My mom was like, yo, I need, you got to give them up.
She probably missed you, no?
Yeah, I guess. So he brought me to Chicago. And that was the beginning of the end.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I landed, I got to Chicago in August of 75, 4 or 5. I was 11, so I was, 75. I got here in August. Started school in September. 2 weeks later, I was in a gang.
You're at 12 years old.
2 weeks later.
Let me ask you this. We're going to just fast forward just because I don't want to forget, right? How did your mom feel after your whole, you were doing great with your dad, and then you moved with your mom, and it's like, oh no, this fool's already like...
Well, they lived in the neighborhood, so they were used to that, But then again, back then, so like when I got in the gangs weren't like they are now. We were peewees, it was just a really so it was basically against the whites, against the blancos and stuff. So my mistake was when I came out of school, my brother used to tell me all the time, hey, make sure you come out of this door, but he never told me why. He said, hey, just make sure you come out of this door. So I was like, all right. And then one day, following a little girl, I was like, she was like, oh, I'm going. I was like, no, but I got to go out this. She's like, no, we go. So I walked out the wrong door. And there was some white boys there, and they looked at me, hey, you fucking spick. And when I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what a spick was. I didn't know none of that. So I was like, what? I'm holding my books. I'm like, what? And then, but even they knocked my bush, started beating me up, and then luckily my brother and them seen, and then they came running over there, and they had a little rumble.
So like every exit of the school was for like the whites and the blacks. And
no, actually, there was one exit that came out this way because all the Puerto Ricans lived on this side, like of the school, and then 3/4 of the school were all whites on this side, and this side, and then on this side was like where all the Latinos lived. So that's why we used to come out this door. And my older brother and his friends, they used to come after school and they'd be waiting for us. And then we'd all come out and they'd all make sure that all the kids went by and the white boys would be on their side and my brother and his guys would be on this side, like, yeah, what's up, you know?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So they were like waiting to like pick on the younger kids.
Yeah. All
that is terrible.
Yeah, beat up. They used to beat up.
And this was like elementary.
Yeah.
12,
I was in
12. You're about to go
fifth,
to
sixth
middle
grade,
school. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, that day, that was 2 weeks into school. In the neighborhood, and you know, everybody's laughing. You know, they're all because they had a nice little rumble.
Oh, they were happy.
Oh yeah, because you know it was a little fight. You know, it was fun.
Yeah.
Not me. I had a black eye. You know, I was all dirty and stuff. They dragged me through the. You know.
Was this your first fight ever in life?
Yeah.
Because in New York wasn't like that
New
for
York,
you.
Man, listen, man. In New York, I played hockey, I played lacrosse, I played volleyball, I played baseball.
Oh my
You know, I was real. You know,
goodness.
that's what they do over there.
It's different.
Yeah. So you know, it was way different. Way different. So when I get here and that happens, so I go back to the house, and there's a bunch of kids almost my age, you know, and some of the older guys, and they start talking about, man, forget this, you know, the white boys, this and that, no. So now I'm starting to hang with them.
Because you feel like kind of protected.
Yeah, and I'm trying to instill in them all the sports. Like, hey, you guys don't play hockey. They're like, hockey, man, that's some white boy shit. Hey, you guys don't play this? Man, that's some girl shit. You don't play volleyball? Man, that's for girls. You play baseball? Eh.
Oh, so these people just thought they were like mean men.
Yeah, they just wanted to, yeah. You know, so yeah.
Wow.
So that started it all, you know. And then next thing you know, 12, 13, it started getting kind of rough. 14 got real bad. 14, it got to the point where we used to have a mayor here called Mayor Byrne. She called herself moving into Cabrini Greens, which was a bad project back in the day. And she started kicking people out of the city. You know, like if you were bad and stuff like that, she'd kick you out of the city. So when I was 14, we were already playing with guns now. We done took it to another level now.
And this is like the 80s already, late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s, yeah, because it was right before high school, yeah. So, you know, we're fighting with the white boys now, but we're fighting
big time.
Yeah, we're fighting big time now. We're not kids no more. We're growing up. We're teenagers now. So, you know, I was in possession of a shotgun. I had a shotgun, and they came to the neighborhood, and I grabbed the shotgun and I started chasing them. And this cop who was undercover, well, he was plain clothes. He came running down the alley. I thought he was one of them. So, you know, I came around the corner with this big ass shotgun and I seen him and I was like, oh, I got him. And, you know, and boom, I started shooting at him. He went behind the garbage can, like, you know, and then he'd like, that's all because I was like walking to the, you know, and I'm walking towards him like this. And all of a sudden he was like, I'm a police officer. And he picked up his hand with the badge and I looked, I said, oh shit. And I ran, but they caught me. Oh. Now, mind you, I was probably 110 pounds wet. They beat the shit out of me, man. Talk about, they beat me so bad that after, because they beat me there. They beat me the whole time because they kept coming up to me. They were like, oh, you're the one that shot me. That's my best friend. Or he was, I bet, you know.
You didn't shoot anybody, though.
No, I didn't hit him, but I shot at him.
You probably would have been here still. Huh?
Yeah. But it's still on my record, though. I still get flagged. I'm still.
You're kidding.
Here I'm 60 years old. I was 14, and to this very day, if I get pulled over, you'll see. It won't be one. They'll pull me over, and once they run my name, you'll see cops coming from everywhere. And
that is terrible that it's still in your record.
They call it's a red flag. So I got to be careful when I get pulled over. If I get pulled over,
you better be careful on that caddy, fool.
Yeah. I've gotten pulled over a couple times, and they ran up on me, you know, all crazy, but they didn't, you know, once they were like, yo, you straight, you know that? I'm like, yeah, because they know that I'm not really about that no more.
He said he's really, like the key word is really, right?
Yeah. So they beat me. what we call it a pumpkin head. So they beat me so bad that when they took me to the Audi home, which is the juvenile detention,
What is it called again?
the Audi home, we used to call it Audi home back in the
Okay.
day. Now it's called juvenile, whatever they call it now. The guy that was the intake, when I came in, he was like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? And they were like, yeah, he, attempted murder on the police, whatever, whatever. The guy goes, I don't give a f if you try to kill the president. I'm not accepting him. You better take him to the hospital. So somehow or another, because my aunt used to date a cop, and he found out or whatever, but I was at the hospital, and I was in a wheelchair. They had me handcuffed in a wheelchair in the hospital. And my mother, I saw my mother, and I was like, Mom, but I was busted up, man. I was beat down.
No, I could imagine.
My mom came in, and she was like, oh, I'm looking for my son. I'm looking for my son. And the lady's like, who's your son? Who's your son? And I'm like, Mommy. But she's not hearing me because everybody's screaming and everybody's yelling. And the nurse tells her, who's your son? And she says, Nelson, So the nurse goes, that's him right there. So my mom turns around and looks at me and goes, no, that's not. And then she looks again and she's like, Mijo? She's like, Nelson. And I was like, ugh. Then I went handicap. I was like, oh, I can't breathe. I can't, my neck, my leg. I started,
You saw your mom. Yeah.
So my mom was like, holy shit, she freaked out. She was like, who did this to you? And I go, all of them. I was like, they all whooped me every day.
And you're a minor.
Yeah, I was, so whatever, long story short, they put me in the hospital. They put one of those, see, back in the day, they had those, remember those, the bracket things, like Frankenstein type things? They put me in one of those. And so this cop that I shot at, he was a bad dude. He was one of those cops that he killed
He was
people.
white?
Yeah, white dude. And he had killed people before. I mean, this dude had cases pending against him for violence. I mean, this dude in a Jack in the Box one time grabbed the dude, handcuffed him, was talking shit, and the dude was talking shit to him. The guy was telling him, man, you take these cuffs off, I'll whoop your ass. In front of everybody, like a Sunday afternoon, he threw him through the window. Threw him through the plate glass, and then grabbed him, threw him in the car, and locked him up. And then they sued him, whatever. He ran over another dude. He was chasing the dude, hit him in the car. The dude flipped over the car, and he reversed over him. He had like 2 or 3 cases pending.
Damn, that fool was all bad, huh?
Yeah, he was nut, man. This dude, man, he was a nut. He was a wacko. We were scared of him. Everybody was scared of him.
He should be the one in jail.
Yeah, he was a nut, and he killed a couple guys. He killed people. He killed a couple guys, man. He was nuts. So like I said, my aunt was dating this cop. So he intervened. He went whatever, and he told him, hey, if you go to court against my nephew, we're gonna press. We're gonna this, that, and the other. So I go to court the first time, he doesn't show up. I go to court the second time, he doesn't show up. The judge says, hey, what the hell's going on here? This kid's charged with attempt murder on a police officer, and the police officer's not showing up. What's going on? So the state was like, oh, no, we got you. We will, next time, continuance. I show up the third time, he's not there. He doesn't show up. They dismissed the case.
Do you think it's because, is it because they told him? The family,
Yeah,
or because do you think it's because he had those other cases?
I think it was a mixture of both. I think because my aunt ended up marrying him, so he's my uncle. I think it was because my uncle was a very influential police officer too.
Okay, yeah.
And I think he said that all he did was tell him. I think he like, hey, mother, I think he threatened them and told him, hey, you the wrong kid. He didn't shoot you. He shot at you, but he didn't shoot you.
Yeah.
So I think it was
Karma,
part of that.
fool. No,
And I think it was that. I think it was that and the fact that he had these cases. Then he was like, damn, another case.
Another case?
They're going to be like shit.
Like this fool's like.
Yeah. And the 2 cases that he had, the 2 cases that I know about, both of the kids got paid. They both got paid, yeah. So
Chicago was like, oh no, we ain't
Yeah.
going to give up more money.
Oh no, but
because of your ass.
He got me back though. What he did was, the case, they dismissed the case. So now what he's doing is he's coming to the neighborhood, grab all of us, and then tell me. And I'm like, oh shit. So I leave, but he locks up all the rest of the guys.
So now they're like,
no, we don't want you around here. Get out of here. Go stand over there somewhere. Because every time they come, they arrest us and they don't arrest you.
oh,
So
that's bad too,
he wouldn't
yeah.
mess with me. Yeah, he wouldn't mess with me. So this went on for a couple years.
Oh,
I ended
shit.
I ended up catching my first case. This went on for like 2 or 3 years.
So by then you're probably like 17 now.
Right, now I'm 17, 18. Terrible now. Now I'm
Especially because you think you got away with murder.
right. Now I'm bad. Now now the game has changed because now we're fighting against Latinos now. Now we're fighting now we're not just fighting with the white boys. Now we're fighting against our own people, which is kind of
The
fucked up.
gangs within
Right.
Chicago.
Right. So you got
Yeah, I was about to ask, like,
so you got people and you got folks.
okay.
You got certain gangs that run under the folks nation, and then you got certain gangs that run under the people nation. So I was with the folks, and we started fighting with the Latin Kings, and because back then the Latin Kings, they were big, but they were getting bigger. And what they were doing, they were just taking neighborhoods. They would just come to a neighborhood and be like, all right, there's 20 of you guys are going to be Latin Kings or else. And then most of the guys were like, okay, because most of them, most of the gangs that are gangs now, most of them started off as baseball teams, basketball, just hanging out,
Yeah.
protecting themselves from the white guys.
I
And
understand.
then, and then
That's kind
shit
of how
started-
it was at a certain point in LA where, there's certain gangs everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's like the tagging crews, and you're not allowed to write on walls. Like, why are
Right.
you writing in my neighborhood? So you're
Right.
either going to get in the gang,
Right.
or you're going to stop writing.
Right.
Kind of like that thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
same thing,
Okay.
same concept. But so yeah, now 17, 18, I'm a terror. Now I'm, you can't f- me.
Yeah.
You can't, So Mayor Byrne, I catch a case. Well, allegedly they allege that I did something, but I didn't get caught for it. But she gave me she gave my family the ultimatum. She said that either you get him out of here or he's going to jail. So I was like, pew! So I went to Puerto Rico.
Ah, you went to
Yeah,
Puerto Rico.
I went to Puerto Rico for a year, and then she lost the election.
And you came
She
back.
lost the election, and I was like, I'm out of here, and came back.
And how was Puerto Rico for you? Because now you're
was-
17 years old. You
It was-
haven't been since you were like, what, 3 years old?
Yeah.
And
It was great. I mean, I took it full advantage. My Spanish got better. I went to school. It was good.
because in reality, I feel like you were a good boy.
Yeah, I
you
was.
just was put in this environment and you adapted really
I was
quick.
a good kid until I came to Chicago. Yeah, Chicago did this to me.
Dang.
Chicago did this to me, yeah. So, yeah, and came back, and then once I got back, it was like a little bit more. It was a little bit more different. There was more violence, more.
In the 80s now.
Yeah, we're in the 80s now. I'm in high school, getting ready to graduate from high school. And then the high school I went to Clemente High School, which is in Humboldt Park, and it's 8 floors. Well, the
high
first
school.
floor doesn't matter, but it was like 7 floors. The high school goes straight up,
Oh,
like a
dang.
box, like a cube. And each floor, there was different gangs on each floor.
What?
Yeah, so we used to have to. But it was kind of like there was like a mutual silent code where, well, if you were alone, you were free game. But if me and you were together, and there was a group of like opposition over there, they'll talk to you, be like, throw down whatever, your gang and stuff like that. But they wouldn't do nothing to you because you were going to class. But
Okay.
after school, it was wide open. It was, that's when the horns would come
my
out.
God.
So I was actually a good student. I mean, I was smart. I mean, I did good. I graduated, which was like unheard of. Everybody, everybody, would always say, oh, you're not going to make it to 21. You're not going to, da-da-da-da-da, whatever. So I ended up graduating, which was cool. And I even went to college for a little bit, but, that got sidetracked too, but that's another story. But, yeah, it was crazy because, like, soon as you went out of school, so there was the schools on Western and Division. So on this side of Western was all the folks, all the gangs that were together on this side. And then on this side, which the school was on this side, was all the Latin Kings and the Unknowns and Spanish Lords and, all that, dumb guys. So what they would do is they would come and they would go like by the tennis courts so that when we came out of school, all our guys would come and we'd get out, and so, sometimes,
wow.
sometimes we'd fight, sometimes we wouldn't, But that was only for like a year and then we took over the school and we got rid of all of them. Yeah, folks took over the school and got rid of all of them. Well, most of them. There was still a
So
couple
the kids weren't
stragglers.
going to school.
Yeah, no, they had to go to another school. Yeah, they had to go to another school. They had to transfer to other schools. So, and then when we would get out of school, we'd walk over here to that side, and then from there we'd either take the bus, because when we take the bus, we'd have to get 20, 30. We wouldn't leave unless there was 20 or 30 of us. If there was only 5 or 6, nope, nah, you got to wait for the next guys to come.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because you know,
because also get jumped.
yeah, because you know they'd wait, they pull cars in front of the bus, jump on the bus. I actually got stabbed on the bus.
You're kidding.
I got stabbed on the bus. Me and my guy, cause trying to be slick, you know.
What were you trying to do or what?
No, we left. We left with some girls, you know, trying to be slick. We jumped on the bus with them, and they must have been peeping us or something. I don't know. They were waiting for us, man. And when we got to their neighborhood, and it's crazy too, because there was a guy that was with us, and he had a pistol.
That fool didn't pull it out.
No, he got off the stop before us, and he told us. He said, "Hey, man, you want me to stay with you?" And I looked, and I saw that it was clear, and I was like, "Nah, dog, go ahead, get off." He got off at the train. And I told him, and my boy was like, "Man, fuck that, let him stay with us." And I was like, "Nah, he cool, because he goes that way. He lives over there." I said, "Nah, you good, go ahead." And he got off the bus and got on the train. And as soon as the bus crossed over, man, bam, the jumped out. Boom, they stopped the bus, and we were like, "Oh, shit." And they got on, there was like 5 of us on the bus.
Dang.
And man, they got on the bus, and I had a bag, I had my little backpack, so I played it off because they already knew that I was a shooter. So when they got on the bus, I jumped up all crazy. I was like, "What's up? What's that?" And I put my hand in the bag. I was like, "What's up? What's up?" And they were like, "Oh shit," And then one of their main guys, he got on the bus and he looked at me. He goes, "That fool ain't got no gun." And they were like, No, he got a gun. He got a gun. And he goes, "He ain't got no gun." And they were like, "Man, how you know that?" He said, "Because if he had a gun, you would be dead."
Facts.
And they came, and I was like, "Yeah." I just threw the bag, and then we started fighting, And then one of them creeped around, and he stabbed me. He tried to gut me, shit. He stabbed me in the. He tried
to move it.
Yeah, but they were beating the shit. I didn't care. I was like, "You ain't going nowhere, buddy." You know what got him off me? I spit in his face. I was looking at him, and he was like, the kid. And I just said, and I spit. It was like acid. He was like, and I was like, "Oh shit! I should have spit at you a long time ago." But he let me go, and then my boy, they were trying to get him off the bus, and he was holding on to they were trying to drag him off the bus.
Yeah, so they could hurt him even more.
And he ran up and just, he hit him twice right here. And then when he went to stab him again, he put his hand, he stabbed him through the hand, and he was able to take the knife from him. So his homies were like, "Oh shit!" So they let him go, and but it was crazy because when I ran up to him and shit, every time he would breathe, he had his hand like this, the blood would go.
Oh my God!
And I was like, "Oh shit!"
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts, man. It was nuts. Yeah, it was wild, man. That was on the bus coming from school.
At 17 years old.
17, 18, huh?
So then what happens after that?
All out war.
Everybody's just fighting.
After that, because then everybody else, because I was kind of influential, so everybody
you're
was
cool
like,
guy. Look at you.
yeah,
still.
everybody.
Still.
So everybody was like, all the other gangs were like, "Oh man, they stabbed Nelson," So everybody was it was just like an all out war.
Everybody was pissed.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Nah, man, they ain't gonna do that to us,"
That's right.
So a lot of people got hurt, a lot of, So,
and let me ask you this: is folks like everybody, like different nationalities, or just?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you even got the blacks, the Mexicans, all different nationalities, even whites. We even got a white gang that is folks.
Okay, so folks is a lot of different gangs.
Right. That's just folks is just a moniker. It's kind
of like the Sureños, a lot of different gangs.
Yeah, but when you say Sureños, you automatically think Sureño. You know what I'm saying? When you say folks, you got to be like, what folks are you? You know what I mean? You can't just say, "Oh, I'm folks, I'm Latin folks," because they'll be like, "Okay, well, what are you? 2-6, 2-2, Ambro, a Maniac." There's 30 different gangs that are folks, just like there's 20.
Or should I say like a Southerner?
Even then, because when you think Southerner, you think Sureño,
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, it's totally different. It's because not even the Bloods and the Crips are not, because, if you say you're a Crip, you're a Crip. Here, folks is just an umbrella, which is the 6-point star. So there's the 6-point star and the 5-point star. The 6-point star is the folks, and you got all these gangs that ride under the 6-point star, and then you got the 5-point star, which is all the other gangs, the people gangs that ride with the Latin Kings.
Got it.
Yeah, and then in the joint, it's the same thing.
I was going to ask you, but we'll wait till we get there. We'll wait till we get there, because obviously we want to know all about it. Everybody wants to know all about it. Because everybody's watching.
Yeah.
Do you guys know this whole story? This is the first time you guys are listening to it.
They know some of it. I didn't tell them everything though.
Okay, well we're listening to it now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're 18 now. You got stabbed. Everybody super war because Nelson
Yeah.
got stabbed. Did you have a nickname or was your name Nelson?
No, I was Babyface.
Babyface. Okay,
Babyface
Babyface.
Babyface Nelson. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. So it's funny. So yeah, that was pretty. So yeah, because I moved up quick in the in the gang because I don't know I don't know I don't know if it was because the way I was raised or something, I don't know, but like my loyalty was to a fault, like I never, like they use the word FOMO now, fear of missing out. We were doing that back then because it was like, hey, we're gonna go over here, and I used to be like, no, I don't want to go over there because if something happens over here and I miss it, I'm gonna be pissed, So
Yeah.
they would go to other neighborhoods and stuff, and I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna stay in the hood. I want to protect the neighborhood. The neighborhood, that was my that was my everything. The neighborhood was like, they say it takes a village, and it does. It was no problem back then. Now it doesn't happen, but back then there was no problem for your mother to see me doing something and smack the shit out of me and be like, and then I'll run and tell. Yeah, exactly. And then I'll tell my mother, she hit me, and she'll be like, oh yeah, why she hit you? And let's go see. And she'd be like, hey, why you hit my son? Because he was doing it. And then mom be like, you mother, take her side,
Yeah.
So
Now these fools will cry.
yeah, now you put your hands on a kid, the parents, oh my God, but that was the way, because we had one block, and we had one block like this, and it was from like this block going this way to this block, so we had like a 2-block area. That's it. That's all we had, but we all lived in that area. There was like 30 of us that lived in that area. So every morning we'd get up, it was like we'd get up, everybody would come out, hey, you going to school today? Let's go. Yeah, we'd all go to school together.
That's cool.
It was it was a brother. It was we were
like family.
We were family. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was never, I remember times where my mom would open up the window, hey, and then she'd look and there'd be like 4 or 5 of us out in front, and she'd be like, hey, get your asses up here. You hungry? And everybody, yeah, come on. And then your mother would come home and be like, hey, and she'll be like, no, he already ate. He ain't here. He already ate.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was. My mom is so funny because they got gang books here. In Chicago, they got gang books, and that's how they do it. Like if, let's say, you guys were in my neighborhood and you guys come visit, and the cops come and raid us and they lock us all up. They say, where you from? They'll be like, and they'll put you in our book for future references,
Okay.
And my mom is in the front page, man.
You're kidding.
Yeah, my mom is in the front. She was
two down.
Yeah, my mom was crazy, man. My mother, totally opposite from my family. So my family in New York and my family in Puerto Rico, totally opposite. My family from New York is upper middle class. They're, very
bougie.
kind of bougie. They all own houses, businesses. They're all well off. My family in Puerto Rico, Jesus, Mary Joseph, they're nuts. All independitas, they're FALN, Puerto Rican nationalists, they're nuts.
So
and my mom.
I'm going to Puerto Rico in January. Should we give them a call or, what I mean?
You're good. You're good. I'll hook you up with my cousin. No, if you're going to Puerto Rico in January, let me know. I'll hook you up with my cousin Freddie, man. I got a cousin out there that he lives right in Isla Verde, which is like 5 minutes from the airport, and he loves to host. He'll take you to all the good spots. Well, yeah, he's good. But yeah, so my mom, this book, my mom is like in the front page of this book, and so as we were growing up, like, I don't know, it was just weird because it was like, if danger was over there, that's where I wanted to go. You know what I mean? It wasn't like everybody else was like, no. I'm like, that. They were like,
going?
No, let them come over here. And I'm like, no, let's go over there. And let's go with them in their neighborhood. They want to come with us over here. Let's go them over there.
Yeah.
I
feel like it should be, it shouldn't be that way. No, guys, it shouldn't be that way.
No, and then,
but I agree.
Well, and then it was to antagonize, because what we would do is, since we only had that little area, we would go over there, mess with them, and then run back to the neighborhood and get ready. And then everybody would be waiting. And then when they would come all crazy, because of course they're going to come nuts, like, we'd be right there waiting on them, you know, and then say, hey, surprise. So my mom, I'll never forget, my mom one day, she's coming home from work. We're all hiding. We got the lights blown out because we used to blow out the lights and stuff.
Like in the movies?
Yeah. So my mom pulls up. So everybody's like, yo, your mom. And I'm like, shut up. You know, don't let her know that we're out here. So my mom, you know, she knew. She kind of pulled up and she was like, she looked at the light, you know, and she grabbed the groceries and shit. And here they come. So my mom looks and they're all, yeah, they're yelling and shit. And my mom goes, mother. She goes in her purse. She got a little pistol. She pulls out her gun. Hey, and they're yelling, talking shit. And I'm like, Mom. And she looks at me and she's like, what are you doing under the car? You hiding from these pussies? And I'm like, no. And then she just starts shooting at them. Boom, boom. And we're like, no, what are you doing? We're trying to get them. So then now the guys got to get up and everybody starts shooting.
Yeah.
And they start shooting at us. And my mom is like, you mother. She's shooting at them in the middle of the street. And I'm under the car like, Mom, what are you doing? You know, like, get them, you know, like, you motherfuckers. Yeah. I'm like, oh, hell no, man. I'm like, Mom, you crazy, man.
It's in the blood.
Yeah, my mom was nuts, man. My mom was.
And your sisters and your brother?
Nah, no, they weren't none of it.
Okay, it was just you and your mom that were just out of control.
It was just me, yeah, my mom, yeah. Yeah, me and my mom. Yeah, my mom's seen a lot of shit, man. She was something else, but you know, she kind of ran, you know, all the mothers of all, you know, all our friends' mothers and stuff. They all used to hang out together and stuff. Again, they grew up together, so you know they knew each other since, you know, my mom used to go bond us out. You know, not bond us out like because back then they would lock you up for like disorderly conduct, and an adult had to come get you. So my mom would pull up. She'd be like, "Yeah, I'm here to pick up my son and my nephew and my cousin," and they'd be like, "Who's your son, Nelson? And who's your nephew, Danny? And who's your this guy and that guy?"
All the kids.
And she'll be like, wait. Hey, ¿Cómo se llama el hijo de Marta? You know? Yeah, him too, you know? And they, because, you know.
Love that.
And the cop would be like, all right, you know, and just signing off and, hey, bring this guy. And, you know, and then we'd all go out, you know, together and leave and stuff. But, yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, it was fun.
I mean, it's not dope, but it's dope that you have like these. I mean, it's the life, you know, and it's it was your life. And what I'm saying, what's dope is that you have these memories that you're able to, you know, speak on with your mom. You know, she's not here anymore, but. I mean, you have these crazy ass memories, and it's like not anybody could have. Not that it's. I'm not saying it's cool, but I mean it's dope that you have these memories of your mom, and it is what it is. It's your life, you know, it's your story.
Yeah. That's what I always say. Hey, the story is long, man. It's wild, man. You know, it cracks me up because, like, for instance, I mean, I don't know if you want to get to the jail part yet, but when I was locked up, you know, I used to, like, I would get together with the West Coast guys, and they would be telling us, and I used to tell them all the time, oh, you guys fucking gangbang all year round. We don't.
Yeah.
You know, we gangbang, but then in the wintertime, everybody hibernates because it's too damn cold, you know? Yeah, you hear a little shooting here, there, but for the main part, you know, everybody's gone. I said, you guys got helicopters, you guys got this, that, and the other. And then when I would tell them stories...
Wait, there's no helicopters in winter?
No, there's no helicopters here, period. I mean, they got them, but not like in L.A. where they chase you through...
No, they shoes are going 24/7.
Yeah. They don't...
There's like 3...
You're kidding? I didn't know
they
that.
don't... and this is where you think they would need them, you know? I mean, the news copters are probably better equipped to chase people than the regular police. Yeah,
You're
they don't...
kidding?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it because of the snow? Or is it because
No. In the wintertime, in the wintertime, you barely see cops because it's so cold, you know?
Wow.
But it's funny because, like, I used to sit with the guys from the West Coast, and I would, and we would tell stories, and they'd be like this.
Like me.
Yeah, no, they'd be like, what? You know, and I'm like, I'm like, you guys are, you know, just as bad. And they're like, nah, man, we ain't never did no shit like that. And I'm like, hey. You know,
it's different. It
is different, man. Chicago is a totally different animal, man. You know, so, but yeah, it's a wild story, man. It's wild.
So, at what age did you end up going to prison?
First time, 21.
And what did you go to prison for?
It was attempt murder. No, mentira. First time was aggravated battery. I got an aggravated battery, and the judge, man, It was bullshit. They shot the dude. I think I shot him. I shot him in the leg.
I just shot him in the leg.
I think I shot him in the leg, and I shot him low though. I think I hit him in the leg and in the hip or something like that. But my name was already ringing.
Yeah.
So the judge was like, because they didn't prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. Matter of fact, the dude that I shot, I had caught him like a couple weeks before that. And I was like, dude, this is what we're doing. We're telling on each other now. And he was like, no. I'm not saying shit. I'm not even going to court. And I was like, yeah, más te vale. Don't go to court. Yeah. Don't go to court, man. Let's keep this on the street. So they enforced him. They made him go to court. And he even went to court and lied. He said, nah, I don't know. I don't remember, And the judge was like, you know what? You might have not did this one, but you did something else. Mm-hmm. So they gave me like 6 years or something like that. But back then, the prisons were like the prisons were like where you go see your homies. As soon as you get there, you're like, what's up, dog? Hey, what's up? To call home and be like, oh yeah, I'm here with Flaco and Junior, and yeah, we're all right here chilling.
So you had a good time.
Yeah.
And you did the whole 6 years, or was it like 3 years?
You do half. Yeah, you do half. And then that's the part where they messed up, because you get out. You're supposed to get out on parole or probation or whatever the hell they call it. And what they do is they give you a stack of. They say okay, you got 2 years probation. All right. They give you a stack of. They give you 24 applications. And they tell you, hey, mail one in every month. You got to mail one of these in.
That's it.
That's it. So what I do, I take them, I fill them all out, I give them to my sister. I said, hey, every time you pay a bill at the beginning of the month, send this damn, stamp them and everything. They were already ready.
Dang.
And she just, every month she would send. So I never had no probation, none of that.
So you did your 3 years. What year was this? Just so that we could
85.
Damn, I was like 3 years old.
Yeah. 85, I did my first bid. Then I got out, and I was only out. I was out. I got out. I was out 30 days, maybe. 30. Yeah, because I got out. No, I was out more. I was out longer. I was out. Sorry, something. I was out like 4 months.
And in those 4 months, you were a disaster.
No, I was, so when I got locked up, the gang structure and stuff was changing. It was starting to change. That's when they really although we were called folks and stuff like that, they started they started organizing better.
Okay.
Because a lot of people were getting locked up and stuff like that. So the Prietos were running everything. So the Latinos were like, wait a second, man.
Yeah.
We good with everything, we folks and everything, but we need our own thing. And there was a little rebellion and shit like that, a couple guys got hurt and stuff like that. But whatever they did to our guys in there, we took care of shit out here, So finally they were like, you know what, you gotta let these dudes do whatever they, So we formed our own thing. And by me being locked up at the time and being a representative of my gang, then I became like a higher-ranking member.
Okay.
So when I got out, the streets were mine, basically. You know what I mean? The neighborhood was already mine anyway, but it was just legit now. Everybody was like, okay, yeah, this is the dude, this is the man.
Babyface is the man.
Yeah, so when I came home, crack had just blown up.
I was about to say that as well.
So the money was different,
Because then you guys started slanging.
Right. We started making big money, we started doing crazy shit, And then
And while you were gone for these 3 years, did you have a girlfriend? Was anybody writing you?
Yeah. Well,
Because I'm sure you're the man.
Yeah.
So you had all the girls.
Well, so it's funny because my son, that's how I know. My son was born December 3rd. I got locked up January 26th. I got locked up January 26th. Again, this time for attempt murder. Mm-hmm. This time.
The 4 months after.
Yeah, 4 months after. But this time, it wasn't the leg shit, But anyway, so I get locked up for attempt murder. I go back to the joint. They give me, I don't know, I got like 10. They gave me 10 years. I ended up doing like 6 because I got in trouble. I was getting in trouble and shit like that. And then.
Where did you go? What prison did you go to?
All over, man. I went.
For the 6 years?
I was at, state. I went to all the damn prisons. So what happened was, so when I go back, now mind you, remember, we were starting some shit.
Yeah.
When the first time I got locked up. I went right back, like 18 months later, I was back in jail because, the court and all that stuff
Yeah.
that you got to go through. So now, by the time I get back, we're already established. So I go to Stateville. I'm there with all the big dogs. I'm there with all the big dogs. I'm on the board with them, So now, since I have an out date, what they did was all the guys that had out dates, they said, okay, we need you to go to this prison. This is the juice. This is the pool that they had. They were like, hey, we're going to send you to Logan because we need you to go over there and tell these brothers what we're doing over here. This is the new concept. We need you to go here. We need you to go there. So they literally moved me to like 4 or 5 different prisons.
And all of these prisons are in Chicago or
well,
Illinois?
Yeah, Illinois. So I went to I want to say like 7 different prisons, basically to preach the gospel, to let them know, hey, this is what we're doing now.
And this is how it's going.
The Stateville was called the White House. So that was
That
like,
was like
hey,
the big prison
Right.
where all the main
right, that's where all the
people.
main guys, right. So now, I have their blessing to go and,
Do your
so
thing.
now Babyface he's really popular, and now he's with all the gangs. Now all the gangs know him. Now all the gangs respect him. Now
And
so
you're
now-
making money still. Are you able to make money while you're
Oh
incarcerated?
yeah. They were making money for me. They used to have a day. You have a day. Where and then I got. So now when I come home, right before I leave the joint, they elevate me to prince. I become a prince, which is the highest rank that you could have.
Really?
Yeah, because we don't have kings because we don't
There's a
land
different name,
kings.
yeah.
So we're not going to be calling each other king this or king that. So the highest rank you can get is prince. So I was
you're
elevated to
Prince
prince.
Babyface.
Yeah. So now I come home. Now the streets are really mine. Now I'm full blown whacked out. Now I got 150 soul.
And you're in the. And this is the 80s.
Yeah,
still.
we're going into the 90s now, and I'm rocking and rolling now. Now there's no looking back. Now I'm like,
You're the man.
we had our neighborhood, it blew up too. We had our neighborhood expanded. And we had one of the coldest strips. We had a strip where we had like 3-4 bars. We had a couple hot, because back then, we had like a couple hot dog stands that were famous. We had a park. We had, we had a nice little strip. And then like on Fridays and Saturdays, everybody would come through and cruise through and play their music and pull over, and we drink and smoke. And like I said, I was always very security conscious. I always, never wanted nothing to happen in my neighborhood, especially to somebody else. Like if you're coming to visit my neighborhood, I want you to come as you came. I want you to leave as you came.
Yes.
I don't want you to get hurt
On your time.
Right. So I'd have people on roofs, guys in cars, just everywhere, just securing the neighborhood. So, and I was making so much I was making money crazy. It was like, wild, man, because the crack was like all the way out there,
Did you ever use drugs?
Yeah. I've dibbled and dabbled, yeah.
Okay.
I was a pothead, but, anybody that says they grew up in the 80s and 90s and didn't snort cocaine or smoke some crack or, my only thing was downer. I was never a downer, so I never, heroin, I didn't like it. I didn't allow it in my neighborhood.
Okay.
I didn't, that was a no-no. You get hurt for that,
Yeah.
So when I came home, so there's I guess they got out there, it's called China White. Mm-hmm. So China White, you don't have to shoot up, you snort. So China White was a problem, and it was crazy because, you go to the Prietos were running in that shit. And you would go by their neighborhoods early in the morning, man, and you'd see a fucking line 2 blocks long. And in that line were your guys. There was everybody.
Everybody.
And they weren't even paying it. They didn't even care that the opposition was right next. They didn't even care.
Because that drug had that.
drug, yeah, and then, so like, I feel bad, but, a couple of my guys, man, because like I'd go to the neighborhood and he'd be, they were sitting there nodding and shit, man. I'd pull over and be like, look at this, run up and,
Yeah.
pistol whip
Check
him,
that
smack
fool.
him, yeah, beat the shit out of him, Or if there was people around, I'd be like, man, wake this fucker up, man. And wake him up, beat the shit out of him, What I used to do is put them in a full Nelson, hit them in the nose, bust their shit so they can't snort. But then these fools would fucking, smoke it. Yeah,
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, that shit is
Let
no
me
joke.
ask you, when you say you did your last, your last 6 years? Or
Yeah.
what would you say was the craziest thing you experienced in that time?
In prison? Mm-hmm. I mean, there was, we ran the prisons, man. We ran the prisons, so any violence that was done by us to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really nice. Like we had a riot one time. We had a riot, but we did it on purpose because we wanted to get out of the. I was in Joliet, and I wanted to leave.
Oh, you wanted to just get out
I wanted to get out of there. So one of my guys was like, "Hey, you know that if we start a fight in the kitchen, they'll kick us out of here." And I was like, "Shit, anywhere's better than here." And I got lucky. I ended up going to Stateville.
So prison was completely different.
Oh, yeah.
It was calmer.
Honey.
Obviously, things happened, but not like.
In Stateville, there was a wall in Stateville, and it was called Stateville Babies. You don't know how many people have kids that are incarcerated. They were incarcerated. Like, how is it that you've been locked up for 25 years and you got a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old?
Oh, they were getting it in.
Yeah, So that says it all right there. That says it all right there. You know, you've been locked up since you were 17 years old. You're 35 and you got 2 kids. Like, how the hell did that happen?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So what, were they able to leave or like?
No. It was in the visiting room.
Oh shit.
Yeah, in the visiting room. Yeah.
You used to get it in too, or what?
Of course. Dude. Hell yeah. You don't know him. Yeah, but yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was,
I mean, that's kind of like the craziest. Like for now, like for example, like if I would ask somebody now, like if you're in prison now, like that, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
Like it's impossible.
No, the shit that's happening now is way out. Because even in the county, they always say that if you can make it through the county back then, even now it's worse. But back then, the county was even good. Prison was. It wasn't a deterrent.
Got it.
Prison wasn't a deterrent. It wasn't like, man, if you do that, you might go to jail.
You're like, oh, send me to jail. You didn't mind.
I'm gonna go and be with my guys. They're out there chilling. I'm gonna go out there and chill.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But when you came home is when you were the prince.
Right.
Is there a lot of princesses? I mean, not princesses.
Well,
each
gang has a prince.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you were like the main one.
Right. Each gang has. We all have the same structure. You got your prince. Your dons, your governors. Stuff like that.
Got it.
Yeah. So then I come home and, like I said, crack blew up. I got a beautiful strip. I'm selling drugs.
Making money. Had a girl.
Doing all type of shit. Yeah, I'm doing all type of shit. And then when we were younger, so we in my Fed case, we had a couple corrupt police. We had some cops that were kind of grew up with us and shit like that. So that made it even worse because
they were there with you guys.
I had a license to carry, basically, because if I ever got pulled over, I'd just play it off and be like, hey, I'm taking this gun to such and such. You could call them. Look, the gun's right there, They'll be like, where's the gun? I'd be like, hey, it's right there. I'm taking it to, I just got caught. So they would call him and be like, hey, I got this babyface Nelson over here. And he'll be like, where's he at? He was supposed to meet me. And he'd come.
Oh, he already knew.
Yeah, he knew the grip, and then we started, robbing drug dealers. We started doing all types of shit. You got the cops in your.
Yeah.
It was free money,
Yeah.
It was free money. So that's how the.
How long were you out after?
I was out. Well, actually, I was out for 18 months.
You did say that. Oh.
And then I caught a body. I caught a murder.
Oh.
Yeah, and I went on the run.
Where did you go?
Miami.
Oh.
Yeah. So I go to Miami. This is where the shit gets crazy. So I leave Chicago. I go to Miami.
And how old were you now?
28, 9, 20 something, 20. So I left in 95. So I was 31.
Okay.
31 because I was born in 64, yeah. So I was 31. So I go to Miami and blend right in. I go to Miami and I end up I was there for like 6 months, 7 months. I end up plugging in. I end up getting a plug in Miami. So now the drugs over here are going for a certain amount. The drugs in Miami are way cheaper.
Yes.
So, I called, because I had a little network. So,
yeah, you're still doing your thing.
My guys, they weren't going to tell on me and shit like that. So, I call up. I'm like, hey, listen, I can get these things down here for this much, And they're like, what? So I'm like, yeah, and they're straight up. And I'm like, yeah. I said, okay. So they send one guy down. My guy comes down. I talk to the guy. We do the transaction. He brings it up on the plane. Just,
because it was different, obviously.
Yeah, it was different before 9. Yeah. So he comes up. Next day, hey, can you get 2 of them? And I'm like, yeah, I think so, yeah. All right, we're coming down. So they come down. Hey, so the guy was like, after like the second or third time, the guy was like, yo, listen, man, I don't want to see you every day. Here, just take 10 and just give me the money when you. So I was like, oh shit,
Dang.
So now we start parlaying. We start, figuring out ways to send the girls down, load them up, send them up. And then we started cars using.
How did you load the girls up?
Right there, just put them on them.
You just
put a
tied
strap.
them up.
Yeah, put a strap on them. Walk them through. Make sure they don't got no metal on them. I even had one of those. Yeah, man, it got so bad that they one time we were going through the Fort Lauderdale airport, and one of the stewardesses walked up and she was like, oh my God, hey, how you guys doing? And we're looking at her, we're like, hey, what's up? She's like, oh my God, I really love you guys' relation. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, what? And then one of the girls was like, oh, I remember it. Because she, I guess, had talked, we were at the airport and then I left. And then I guess the stewardess must have said something.
She probably said you were her man or something.
Right. And then she told, oh, yeah, that's my man. We got a long distance relationship, but, we're trying to make it work, whatever. She never told me this. So when the girl walked up, I was like, what? I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? And then girl was like, oh, yeah, girl, what's up? Oh, yeah, you look, we're still together. Give me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we're together, this and that. But yeah, so that we started doing that.
Wow.
Then we started doing the clavos in the cars and sending up cars because it was,
You had to have different ways.
Right, we had different avenues and stuff like that. And I just started flooding the city. I was like, I'm on the run. If I get caught, hey, let me get caught and go out with a bang, So I start flooding the city.
Wow.
Yeah, we start going nuts, man. And then I thought I was making money before.
So you were killing the game now.
Yeah, now it was like, oh my God, it was so much money. I was like, Jesus Christ, what am I going to, I had money. I used to stash money. It was so funny because I'd stash money and I started seeing this girl and we were living together and she was real anal about her shoes. This bitch loved shoes, man. That's all she had. Bro, this girl had like 300 pair of shoes and she would keep them in the box and she would keep them like organized, real organized. So I would just like grab a box, open it up, throw some money in there and then forget that I put it there. And then 2-3 months later, she'd be like, babe. And I'd be like, what? She's like, what is this? And I'll be like, where'd you find that at? She goes, in my brown shoes. And I'd be like, oh shit, let me get that. And now put them over here. And I would forget, money at her mother's house, money at her father's house. I'd stash it. Because I didn't know what to, I couldn't put it in the bank. So yeah, we were just flowing, man.
Did you send money to your mom?
Yeah. I built a house in Puerto Rico. Yeah. I helped to build a house. I built a house in Puerto Rico and everything. Yeah.
Nice.
That's the only thing they didn't take. And the only reason they didn't take it is my mom.
We're gonna bleep that because
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. There's no statute of limitations. But moms was slick. Moms. I'd give her cash and she would hold on to it and use their money to continue building the house.
Nice.
And just inject it. I guess. Mm-hmm. But they took everything else, man. They took everything.
Tell us what they took.
Oh man, they took cars, motorcycles, jet skis, jewelry, money. Yeah, that's what I did.
I mean, that's all they could really take, right?
Yeah, well, they took a house, they took a condo. I had them, and they took a condo.
How much money did they take?
Off of me personally, they found I only had like 80,000. I had like 80,000. There was jewelry that they took like $500,000 worth of jewelry because we were stupid, man. I was going to New York before Jacob was Jacob. We were going over there buying the fucking 4-finger big diamond rings and jewelry. It was ridiculous, man. I think about it now and I'm like, what were you thinking, But it was like,
So you're walking around.
Oh yeah, and then
With
so I'm in Miami.
Too?
No, I'm in Miami. And, you know, I'm already connected with everybody. I know all the bouncers. I know all the, you know. So when, you know, my guys over here, they're like, oh, we want to go to Miami. So they would come to Miami. And, you know, they'd come all strapped up, ready to spend money because, you know, we're going to have a good time. So we would get to these clubs, man. And, you know, we'd stay. So at this point, there was a hotel called, what was it called? Not Embassy. Was it Embassy Suites? It was like a suite, you know, where the rooms were big, and they had a shuttle service that took you to the beach from the hotel. And sometimes they had like the little bus, and sometimes they had a limo. So I would always request the limo. I'd be like, yo, man, you know, I need the limo, man, this and that. And the guy would be like, all right, cool, you know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever. So I would tell the guys, we get in the limo, and I would tell the guys, do not get out of the car. Let me get out the car, and then when I come back to get yous, then you get, because the lines would be, lines, you know? So the limo would pull up, and right away everybody's like, oh, man, who's that? Who's that? And I'd get out, jeweled up, walk up to the, you know, have 100 in my hand. Yeah, what's up, dude? Hey, give him a handshake, give him the money. Be like, yo, man. And he'd be like, yeah, all right, come on. And then I'd go back and open the door. Now all these fools start getting out the car, and then all the girls and everybody's like, damn, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? You know? And we would just walk, and then I'd be standing there, and I'd be looking at the crowd, and I see all the girls, and I would tell the bouncer, hey, can I grab a couple girls? And he's like, yeah. And they'd be like,
guy.
right, me. And I'd be like, hey, you,
He's out of
fucking you too.
control.
Come on, man.
Hey, Babyface was out of control.
Yeah, no, I was out of control, yeah. And then he would, and they'd be pushed. Their friend be like, what about me? And the girls, bitch, I don't know. You get out of my way. Yeah, it was hilarious. And we'd take them all in with us, and it would just
Party
our asses off, man. It was so funny, man. We'd literally be like at the club and just like, yeah, how many of us is there? There's 8 of us. Bring us 8 bottles of Cristal or 8 bottles of Don, and bring us this and then so now all the other people see that, and they're like, man, who them guys? You know, and now they want to come and party with us. Oh, it was
good
wild.
times.
Yeah, it was
good times.
It was. I'll tell you what, man. I was on the run for like 3.5, 4 years.
Oh, you were on the run for a long time.
Yeah. And those were the best 3.5 years. Oh, I had a blast.
Great memories, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure you had crazy days as well where you were like, fuck, but.
Yeah, no. Listen, I had some scares, girl, boy. I think about it. I'm like, how so my guy, he calls me up and he tells me, yeah, I need you to go. So I was messing with this, one of the guys, the original guys, his uncle was locked up, and then he got out, and he was big time. He was already big time, but he had moved his operations. So I was getting shit from him, and then he started messing with the heroin with the China White. So he was like, you know what? I don't want to mess with the cocaine. You mess with the cocaine. You take over this. You know, I'm going to plug you, give you this guy, and then you just continue working with them. And I'm gonna go take care of the stuff in Puerto Rico.
Oh, so you had that, and he had, okay.
Right. But, you know, I was still his guy. That was still my guy. So one day he says, hey, I need you to go to Puerto Rico for me. And I was like, yeah, no problem, bro. He says, yeah, just take this key to such and such. And I was like, hey, I'm going to stay a couple days. I'm not just going to go to Puerto Rico and come right back. I'm going to stay a couple days. He goes, even better. Go to Puerto Rico, stay a couple days, and come back with the money. And I was like, bet. I was like, okay. So my whole thing was, whenever we would get a shipment, I would always take everything. I would take it apart. So you get a kilo, and it comes wrapped, you know, from Colombia, whatever. It comes with the cast and the rubber and all that bullshit. I would take all that off and rewrap it myself. Okay. Again, you know. He's messing with the kilos of heroin. I don't know if you know, but so they're smaller. Mm-hmm. So he says, take this. So I said, okay, cool. So I take it, boom, get the ticket, put it right here, early in the morning. And I'm going through the metal detector, and, and I'm like, oh shit. I start checking myself. I go back, I go through again, and I'm like, what the fuck? I know I ain't got nothing on me. So I'm like, damn. So the lady says, come here, sir. She grabs the wand. She's like, hey, boom, she hits it. She goes, what do you got there? It's a book. She goes, a book? And I go, yeah, it's a book to read on the plane. And she was like, oh, okay, and let me through. I was like, holy shit. So I go through, but now I'm pissed. So I don't leave. I go back. I leave. I go back and I call my guy up and I tell him, hey, mother, I take the key out and I open it up. It was fucking, they had put it inside like a potato chip type, it was like aluminum. And it was all wrapped up. But I never took it apart because
you didn't, it wasn't your shit.
So I tell him, hey, what the fuck? I almost got caught. Blah, 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 blah. So he's like, oh my God. So we take the ones that he had, we take them apart. He calls the Connect. He snaps on the Connect. The Connect was like, oh shit, I didn't know, this and that. So we fucking wrestle. Now, every once in a while, because I was making good money, I was making like $10,000 a trip, just to go to Puerto Rico.
Back then it's like,
shit, I would put that shit in my pocket. It was so small. Back then, remember the Gerbeau jeans with the big baggy jeans?
Yes.
And I put that shit in my pocket and just walk right through like nothing. So like, that happened. I went 2 or 3 more times. Calls me up. Hey, I need you to, okay. I go, they all look the same. I grab it, I put it in my pocket. I go through the fucking airport, and I was like, fuck. So I was like, holy shit. So this time, I'm in Miami though. The other time was in Fort Lauderdale. Little Prietita, she was just like, oh, book, go ahead. This time I go through Miami. So when I go through Miami, it rings, and I'm like, oh shit. So I go around. So as I'm playing it off to come back, because they make you go back to the end of the line, kind of walking. The dude from behind the thing, he's like, sir, here, step over here. And I'm like, man, get the, I'm like mumbling, and he's like, sir, and I'm like, fuck you. And I just kept walking. Now, mind you, my luggage, my little bag that I have, my little bullshit bag, with my return ticket, with my keys to my car, everything is already past the belt. I got an alias, but still.
That's still your shit.
So the guy, hey, so now I'm talking to the people in the thing. I'm like, man, these fucking people here, man. And everybody's like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. So everybody's like, yeah, man, yeah. Like, shut the fuck up. Just get to the back of the line, So and I could hear the key, I could hear the, like the keys and shit. So I'm like, fuck. So I see the corner and I'm thinking to myself, if I could just make it to this corner, I'm gone. I'm running, Sure enough, I make it to the corner. Man, I take off. I'm running through the air. I run all through the airport. And then I go downstairs. And you know how they got the shuttle buses and stuff to take you to the hotels? Man, I'm telling you, God was with me, man. Thank you, Lord. I get to the door, and I look, and I see the shuttle, the bus, and I see the last person, like, getting off. And I swear, I seen the guy go like this to shut
Close
the door. Girl, I jump. And slid. I slid. And the guy was like, hey, what the hell? He's like, hey, what do you? And I was like, I said, yeah, take me back to the hotel. And he's like, what hotel? You didn't come with me. And I was like, no, I came earlier, man. I just came with some friends. And I'm breathing hard. I'm sweating. I'm like, man, just take me back to the hotel, man. What's the problem? He's like, you didn't come with me. I can't take you back to the hotel. I said, why not? I just came to drop off my friend. I'm not leaving. I'm going back to the hotel. They said I could do it. Yeah, who said you could do it? And I said, oh, Shirley. He was like, Shirley said you could. And I'm like, dude, what the? So I go in my pocket, and the first bill that pulls out, I had like a 50. I go, man, come on. And the guy was like, oh, shit, dude. So I relax, I'm like, oh, fuck, he's gonna. And I look back like this, and sure enough, man, they come on, they're like this, they're looking. And I just kind of slid down, pissed on, trickled down my leg. I started peeing on myself. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. So get me back to the hotel. So now what I do is, I got this same kilo. So I hide the kilo, I call my guy up, and I'm snapping.
Again, yeah, you're pissed.
I'm snapping, but I'm pissed off. I'm like, man, motherfucker, man, woo. So he's like, man, what? I said, no, I threw it. I threw it away. I said, I threw that shit. I said, what the fuck? They were chasing me. This, look, man, I fucking pissed on myself. And he's like, fuck, man, this and that. I said, call that motherfucker, call the Colombian, the Connect. So the Colombian comes, and I pull out the pistol. I'm like, you motherfucker, you trying to set me up? He's like, no, me, hold it. I put the gun in, the whole shit. My guy's like, hey, chill. I'm like, man, fuck you too. You motherfuckers are trying to set me up, And so my guy's like, hey, bro, we told you about that. And he was like, no, I don't, that's the way I get it. And then, well, you need to start,
checking your stuff.
So I told him I got rid of it, that I threw it. So he's like, no, amigo, no, I'm sorry. So he ends up giving me, like, he gives me money for the trip. He gives me the $10,000, takes the loss. He don't care. These dudes are mega rich. They had so much money. So now I got the key. And back then they were going for like $60,000, $70,000, man, for one. So I start hitting the guys in Chicago. I'm like, hey, man, can you guys get rid of it? Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm like, all right. So I bring it over here, and I'm like, here, just holler at me when you're done. Just give me back 50 or whatever, you know? So the guys were like, for real? And I was like, yeah. So they got rid of it, and I got my, you know.
Your money back, yeah.
So, yeah, that was one. Man, listen, man. I'm telling you, I had some episodes where I still can't believe that I didn't get caught. Yeah, that I, you know, like, holy shit, man. Just the craziest shit, man. I was seeing this girl, this crazy broad, man. And that was my fault, though. We had money on us, and we were at Midway. And we were going to Miami. And I got the strap, you know, I got like 60, we got like 60,000 a piece or whatever on us. And she was telling me that she wasn't feeling good. But I kept messing with her, you know, grabbing her, touching her, pulling her, you know. And she snapped, and she jumped up. She's like, I told you that. And I was like, hey, calm down. Ripped the belt off and threw it at me, bam. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, huh. So I get this nervous laugh. I'm like, and everybody's looking like, what the? But nobody's looking at the floor.
Okay.
They're just looking at her, screaming at me, walking away. So I'm like, with my foot, I'm like, oh shit, because some of the money had fell out. So I'm like, babe, come on, babe, man, I was just playing. I'm like, and I can see the people like, oh shit, damn, you know, they're all like, damn, you know. And I'm like, oh shit. So I bend down, same thing. I put the money, I wrap it up, put it in my little thing, and I start walking. And all I'm waiting for is, excuse me, sir, you know, some shit like that. So without nobody even saying nothing to me, same thing. I hit that corner and I took off. And I don't know if you know about Midway. So Midway, when you come out, see, now it's different. I ran all the way from Midway. I ran all the way like 63rd, like they were chasing me. And nobody was chasing me, but I was running like they were chasing me. Man, I got to the hotel. I was dying. I was like, oh my God, you know, and I called and they came and got me. And that's a whole nother story with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, shit like
That's
that.
crazy.
You know? Yeah.
So how did you end up getting picked up?
So now here, this is some shit out of the movies, man. So I'm living, you know, I'm living in Miami. I'm doing good. We're good. No, so here.
Technically, you're doing bad.
Yeah.
But you're doing good.
So in April.
Of what year?
Of 97.
Okay.
No, April of 98. I'm sorry. April of 98. Remember, I'm on the run for murder. Mm-hmm. So in April of 98, living with my girl, we're chilling, you know, we're doing good. I'm doing good. Everything's good. She screams. She's like, babe, oh my God. What? I come out. She was terrified of insects. This girl was, no. She was, bro, there were ants. It was ants. There was a little line of ants, and the cat was playing with the ants. She was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh, come on, man. I grabbed the napkin, pine saw, and wiped it out. Got rid of it. So we had a little board, you know, them little like pen boards, chalkboard, whatever on the refrigerator. And since she worked and I didn't, she would always leave me little notes, you know, babe, you know, can you do this? Or, hey, we need this. Or, you know, I love you. Can you bring me lunch? Or don't forget, we're going over here. And so every morning I would get up, you know, and go to the refrigerator and I'd look, oh shit, this girl wants me to go, you know. So like 2 or 3 days later, knock on the door. I'm like, who the fuck is knocking on my door, man? So I get up, I'm like, fuck. So I go to the door, I'm like, who is it? So, man, it's the Orkin, the exterminator. And I was like, exterminator? And I'm thinking to myself, this bitch called the exterminator for this line of ants? So I look back at the board to see if she had wrote, oh, the exterminator's coming through. She never mentioned it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, So I'm like, hey, man, I didn't order no exterminator. And he goes, well, sir, I got an order here for extermination, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, man, you got the wrong crib. He said, man, is this blah, blah? He tells me the address. And I was like, yeah, I'm not opening the door. So he's like, well, sir, can you at least acknowledge that I was here, you know, sign the papers, you know, so that, you know, they know that I was here. So I looked through the thing, man, this dude got the white apron, you know, he's straight up working, man. And he got the metal thing and everything. So I'm like, all right. I'm in my underwear, so I open up the door and I'm like, all right, man. So he's like, he's looking at me, you know, and I kind of
Felt it.
felt, yeah, because the way he looked at me and shit, he came in, he was like, yeah, this him. So I'm half asleep. I'm like, yeah, let me get that, man. So he's going like this he's giving me the clipboard, and as he's giving it to me upside, you know, because he's giving it to me upside down, I can see state of Illinois. I see it, but I'm not reacting. I'm still going like this because they can't do nothing to you unless they serve you. They have to serve you. The marshals got to serve you. These are marshals. These are not regular cops. These are U.S. Marshals. So my hands just kept going, and I looked, and I was like, state of it, and it was too late. As soon as I touched it, man,
You've been served.
There was two here on the side. So as soon as I touched it, man, he kicked me. Boom! He kicked the door open, kicked me down. I was like, oh shit, bro, my fucking free. So I'm like, oh shit. So they flipped me over, whatever. So the guy's like, Nelson, you know what this is about, right? So I'm like, man, what took y'all so long? And he's like, hey, you're a hard guy to find, you know, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm thinking, how the find me, you know? I found out afterwards, but so they cuffed me or whatever. So now I'm in my shorts and I'm tripping out because I'm like, damn, y'all dressed like the orc. And I'm thinking,
Wait, and they were listening to you already then, probably, because, or no, it was a coincidence?
No. They didn't. That was just coincidence.
Okay.
It was just coincidence because afterwards I told my girl, did you ever? She's like, no. You know, it was just, that's what got me. That's what got me.
That's crazy.
You know what? You're right. Maybe they did have some, but then again, no, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. You know, I mean.
Because that's not a coincidence, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy the way they did that. But anyway, so they grabbed me. You know, they let me get dressed, whatever. They let me call my girl so she could come, whatever. And then they take me to the Miami-Dade,
The station.
the station. I sit there for a couple of days. They come get me. They extradite me to bring me back here. So when they bring me back here,
How do they bring you back in? Like a bus or like a plane?
Here's another story. Here's another
Because
crazy.
now you're already in custody.
Right, I'm in custody. So here, the guy. So you got the good cop, bad cop, whatever. So the one cop keeps telling me, hey, we could drive back. And I'm like, driving back. It's gonna take us 3 days the way you guys drive. No, man. I want to fly. And the other cop is like, yeah, we'll get back fast. And I'm like, yeah, no. I want to get real. I want to get this shit over with.
Yeah.
I just want to get out of here. So the other cop kept saying, yeah, but we could drive, and I'm like, nah. Anyway, boom, we get on the plane. They cuff me, but they put a sweater over my thing. So you got the cop, me, and the other cop.
So it was a regular plane.
Regular American Airlines. We take off. Now, mind you, in this time that I'm in Miami, not one, but two planes had crashed. One plane took off. And when it was a cargo plane, and when it turned, they didn't strap the cargo right. The cargo, and boom, they crashed into the Everglades. The other plane, I guess, was landing or something, and it didn't kill nobody, but it blew up, So, bam, we take off. All of a sudden, and I'm thinking, oh, it's turbulence and shit. So the cop that didn't want to fly, he's like, oh, geez, he's praying. I'm laughing. I'm like, fucking pussy. And I'm like, oh shit, all of a sudden we're flying, and then all of a sudden, this is Captain, speaking, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to go back to Miami. We're having a slight engine problem, this, that, and the other. Woo. Plane turns around. So now I'm looking, everybody's looking out the window. When we land, I see nothing but fire trucks. I'm like, damn, what the fuck kind of engine problem we having? The engine had fallen off. Piece of the engine had fallen off and died, and I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, what a headline, a guy that was on the run, this, that, the other, he dies in a plane, I was like, what the? So now the cop is like, you still want to fly? I told you, and I was like, man, we're gonna die, fuck that, we're flying. And the other cop was like, but he went to they gave him like all kind of vouchers, and I'm like, you petty motherfucker, But anyway, so we get to Chicago. We finally make it to Chicago. So they put me in this room.
You guys flew?
Yeah, we flew.
Okay.
So when the murder happened, there was 4 guys allegedly. Well, there was 4 guys that were shot. Whatever. One of them died. The other 3, whatever. So they said it was me. So as time went on, one more died. This guy disappeared, and this kid ends up getting like 50 some years for a murder. right? So there's only one witness against me now because all these other guys are gone. And I knew the kid.
And you're in custody.
Yeah, I'm in the police station. They got me like in this little office. They got me.
Those 4 guys, all of this happened to them in the middle of those in the 4 year
4 years that I was
span. Okay.
exactly. So they got me handcuffed to this pole where I could walk back and forth. It's like a little room. So I'm sitting there, and I see like a yellow jumpsuit go by. So I was like, damn, man, what the fuck, you know, being nosy. So when I look, it's the kid, one of the kids.
You remembered.
Yeah, I knew who he
And
was.
are you still Prince?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm still. Yeah,
It doesn't
I
ever
mean,
go away.
Well, I mean, I wasn't active. I mean, I was on the run. You know,
But you're still active because
I
you're doing
still,
your
yeah,
thing.
I still have my guys that were taking care of
Yeah,
business with me and stuff like that.
got it.
But I wasn't even thinking about that because I couldn't deal with everybody. I could only deal. There was only a handful of people that I could deal with that I trusted.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody else, I didn't trust everybody else. You know,
Got
I
it.
only trusted my inner circle. So I'm nosy. I go and I look, and I see the kid. So I checked the door, and the door was open. I'm telling you, man, God, well, so I opened the door.
God is
I'm
good.
Like, I'm like, yo, Rob, you know, I yell his name. So he turns around, he sees me. He's like, yo, what's up? You know, he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, yo, fool, what's up, man? I'm fucking telling you know, Dan, this is how we doing shit. He's like, no, fuck that. I ain't saying shit. Fuck them niggas. You know, they left me out. They don't send me no money. They don't come, you know. And I'm like, listen, you know, I'm in Miami, right? He goes, man, I heard you doing real good. I said, I'm doing great. I said, you know what to do. Do the right thing, and I'll make sure that you get straight. And he was like, man, I got you. Me and his brother were like this. So bam, we go to court. I start high, tell the bailiff, hey, my lawyer, I need my lawyer. I mean, so my lawyer comes. I tell him, hey, listen. I tell him, and he's like, are you sure? I said, yes. So bang, we go to court. Cops are there. You know, they're pissed off because they've been looking for me this whole time, and they had me a couple times, and I got away from them. So, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm cocky as now. I'm cocky as I'm counting my chickens before they hatch, really, because I wasn't for sure. I mean, I was certain. I mean, I knew he was going to do something. I just didn't know
What?
that, you know, how it was going to play out. So, you know, I'm sitting there. They call him on the stand. He gets on the stand. They say on the night of blah, 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 this, that, and the other, you know, shooting, blah, 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 you know, can you point out the person that shot you? So mind you, so I'm sitting right here. So he goes, he starts looking around. So the prosecutor's getting nervous. He's like, are you having do you need glasses or something? And he's like, nah, I don't see him. Guy goes, hey, I got testimony. I got written testimony right here that you said that Nelson, you know? And he goes, nah, man. So they're freaking out, right? So then they said something to him, and he got mad. He said, man, fuck that. I didn't say shit. They told me to say it was him. And he started pointing at the guy, and I was like, ooh. I was like, yeah, it's going down. So my lawyer's like, Your Honor, oh, this is a travesty of judge. You know, he starts going off, and my lawyer jumps up and starts, and I'm like, yeah. I got you. So the judge is like, all right, you got anything else? And they were like, no, Your Honor, you know, we're going to, you know, nolly the case, which means SOL, which means basically shit out of luck, you know, or see you later. And they let me go. So the judge says, okay, case dismissed. Boom. So I'm like, yeah, I get up, bam. I go in the back because you got to go in the back and you got to get printed and all that bullshit. So now I walk out right out the front. My lawyer's waiting for me. So as I'm walking out, you know, I turn into Scarface on him. I'm like walking, I'm like, you know, I'm like, you. So the detective jumps up. The detective jumps up and he's like, yeah, don't worry. Then I'm like, man, I said, I don't leave witnesses. You know, this and that. And I spit on the floor. Holy shit. They were pissed. They were trying to come at me. And my lawyer was like, hey, Your Honor, hey, look. And so the judge and the bailiff was like, hey, man. So they escorted me out, jump in my lawyer's car.
You really thought you were...
Yeah, we leave. I tell my lawyer, don't even stop and go, nigga. Take me straight to the airport. Take me straight to the airport. Don't even stop. And he was like, you don't want to go home? Home is Miami. Take me to Miami. I mean, take me to the airport.
Yeah.
I don't know. After what I just did, I don't know. So he took me straight to the airport. And mind you, I've had these clothes on for like 5-6 days, man. I'm funky as fuck. But I'm like, I don't care. So I get on I get the, he gives me some money, man. I get on the plane. I go right back to Miami. Now I'm good because my real name,
You never used
Nelson,
it.
Yeah, I couldn't use it because of that, but now my real name is legit. My real name is legit. The alias that I was using is legit. So, oh, but wait here. Let me back up a second. So I told you that was in April. In April, I got picked up for the murder. In March, my guy, my guy
Yes,
there, he sends me on a mission. Not on a mission. He tells me, hey, do me a favor. Remember, we had just met this guy, this older gentleman, the older guy.
They were on the guy already, huh?
So he says, hey, remember, Juanito? And I'm like, yeah. He lives in Fort Lauderdale, right? He's like, yeah. He said, hey, do me a favor. Take him this. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I got a caddy, similar but not, hooked up. So I'm walking towards my car. He goes, no. Don't take the fucking car. No, don't take that fucking, don't take Cajo de Negro.
We can't put that
Yeah. Cajo de Negro, yeah. And so I'm like, oh man. So he had an expedition. He had a big ass expedition. So he's like, here, take my truck. I said, bro, I'm not coming back, man. Once I go over there, I'm going to party. And he's like, yeah, just keep the truck, man. I'll see you tomorrow. I was like, all right, cool. So I got a pistol. Back then we had the pagers. Got the pager. I got the cell phone.
Yeah, the big one or the little one?
No, the big brick. Yeah, the brick phone. So I jump in the truck and I go to meet dude. So I get off the expressway. So his house is right here. So you get off the expressway, I turn, I come, and I'm coming down a little side street. Now, mind you, the expedition is kind of high. So I'm driving, and all of a sudden, man, this car just pulls up in front of me. And I'm like, hey, mother. I had the pistol right here, and I was like, mother. So I'm looking at him. I'm like, man, what the? And all of a sudden, I see another car creeping, and I look, and I go, oh, you trying to gang up on me? Wait up. So I pull the pistol out. All of a sudden, phew, the lights turn on. I'm like, oh, shit.
You had the pistol?
No, I took off. And as I'm taking off, I look and I see the fucking old man. I see him.
Oh.
So I'm like, ooh. So I take off. I call
the dude.
I call my guy and I tell him, hey, Juanito's trying to set you up, bro. I'm running. And he's like, man, bro, get rid of this shit. Don't worry about it. I got you, this and that. If you get caught, go. So as I'm driving, throw the pistol, throw the this. I'm throwing shit out the window. I'm going down 95 and I got this half a brick, and I'm in the inside. I'm flying, and I see a truck, right? And I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna throw it on the truck. I'm gonna throw it towards the truck. Maybe it'll get caught in between the truck, and the truck will take it. That's exactly what I did. I kind of pull, and I'm watching them because they're chasing me. So I'm zigzagging. I'm trying to make people crash so they could slow them down. So I jump back up and I throw the brick out the window, and I come back. Man, if you're familiar with 95 or any express, well, it's like this. And in the middle, there's like a grass area. I'm telling you, this shit's like a movie, man. I go down this little slope. The truck starts, boom, boom, boom. It starts bouncing. Boom, flips. The truck flips on me. I don't know how the hell, I don't know what window, I don't know how the hell I got out of the truck, but I flew out of the truck. Landed, flipped, fell, scraped, skidded all the way across, got up. And I think, I don't know, I might have been hallucinating, but I looked back and the truck was flipping.
Oh my goodness.
And I started running. I took off and I crossed 95 in front of the traffic. I jumped in because I knew, so Little Haiti was right on the other side of this, like a lagoon. And I knew that if I got in the water and swam across, I'm a good swimmer. So I said, if I could get across, they'll hide me.
Yeah.
They don't. Police are scared to go in there. So I jump in the water, and I'm swimming, and all of a sudden, boy, I seen like two beams. I seen like two beams. I thought they were gonna shoot me. So I was like, oh shit. And I looked back and I didn't see nobody, and I looked again, and I was like, yeah, whoop, went under the water. I said, God damn, it's an alligator. Oh, crocodile, whatever. I said, nah, fuck this. Now I'm not knowing that they're probably more scared, you splash in the water, they're probably more scared of you than you are of them. I wasn't taking no chances.
Facts.
I go right back to the police. They're right there waiting for me. They're like, yeah, come on out, motherfucker. Come on. Grab me by the hair. Get your punk ass out. They start whooping me. I'm like, oh. Now, remember, I'm under an alias. I'm on an alias name. So they handcuff me and they sit me on the side of the road. They're like, where's the drugs? I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Why'd you run? I said, I got scared. Fucking guys, I got nervous. I thought you guys were trying to rob you for what? I said, man, I got a little bit of money. I'm playing it off. But the whole time I'm rubbing my fingers, like I'm handcuffed, I'm rubbing my fingers on the cement of the wall. Because they got to print me, I'm rubbing my fingers like fucking till they're damn near bloody. So, fuck, man, for about an hour, I'm sitting there and I'm getting happy because I'm like, okay, they didn't find it. The truck must have took it. Damn it, man. All of a sudden I see the guy. Hey, Jim, got it right here. Oh. The shit fell. Now, this is how crazy it is. I should for Ziploc. It was in a Ziploc bag, okay? So it was a half a key inside of a big Ziploc bag and it was folded, Well, apparently it fell off and the cars kept running it over and they made it like a sheet of paper, but they never opened. Not 1 gram, nothing got out of it. The cars kept running it over and flattening it. So now when he brought it, when I seen it from far, I was like, that's not mine. That shit's too big because he was coming like this. And I was like, that's not my shit. But then when he got closer, I was like, damn, that's it. That Ziploc didn't open, mother. So they come with the shit, boom, I get arrested. So now I get locked up. I'm in Broward County. Now, mind you, this is in March. So I'm in Broward County. They print me. And all I keep saying is, man, when that print comes back, they're going to be like, bingo, So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm sitting there waiting like 2-3 days. On the third day, they're calling me for an attorney visit. And they're calling my alias, but I'm not responding. I'm sitting there and they're like, Raul, they're calling my name and I'm not responding because I forgot. So then all of a sudden one of the guys goes, hey, stupid, ain't that your name? And I was like, oh shit, what happened? Oh man, I'm sorry. I go up to the content and the guy goes, yeah, you got an attorney visit. I go, attorney visit? Fuck. So I go out there and there's a lawyer. He says, hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? And I'm like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, oh, I'm such and such. This guy sent me. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, hey, listen, man. He's like, hey, did you say anything? I'm like, nah, I didn't say nothing. He's like, hey, da-da-da. And I'm like, hey, listen, I'm trying to tell him, listen, I'm on the run for a murder. But he's not trying to hear it. He's just like.
This is before it was cleared.
Yeah, this was before it was cleared.
March,
this was in
April,
March.
Yep.
So he's steadily telling me this. He's steadily telling me, asking me questions and shit. And I'm trying to tell him. And then he's like, Nelson, I know. And when he said my name, I was like, oh, shit. He goes, we're going to get you a bond. We're going to bond you out, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah. We said, your print's cleared. I was like, what? I was like, okay. So, boom, like 2 days later, boom, they bond me out.
Wow.
So I'm on bond now for the case. I'm on the run for the murder.
Uh-huh.
Come April,
they get you for that.
They pick me up for the murder. So now I go back to Miami.
Uh-huh.
So now I already start strategizing with my lawyer. I tell my lawyer, hey, listen, man, can you give me a deal, man? Let's get, because I already know the system as far as like with court. If you accept responsibility and don't waste their money and don't waste their time, they usually be a little bit more lenient. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, how bad? So I knew this kid who had got like 5 years or something for growing weed back in the day. And they gave him 5 years. And man, like 6 months later, his girl was like, oh, Julian wants you to take me, he's working on this crew on the highway and he wants us to go see him. And I'm like, what? And what it was they had this, if you ever notice how clean the damn expressways are.
Yeah, that's them working.
They what they do is they'll have the van will have like 8 inmates and the guard will drop them off and 2, 2, 2, and 2. And then they go and they walk 2-3 miles or whatever, cleaning up. And then when they get over there, they have lunch. And then they go another 2 miles and then they go back to the prison or to the camp or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy has a record and he got 5 years and he's already on this crew. Oh. I don't have a record under the alias because that's the name I'm locked up under. Raul Fuentes. I was locked up under Raul Fuentes. So I was saying, shit, this guy could give me 4 years or something like that, whatever.
You'll be home. It's not like you haven't done time before.
Exactly. So sure enough, lawyer talks, bing, bam, boom, and he gets me 4 years. So I'm like, cool. So now we start dragging because, oh, it's my birthday. Oh, it's my girl's birthday. Oh, I want to go here. Oh, it's the holidays. So my lawyer's like, look, we got to turn you in. So I was like, all right, bet, check this out. let's do the holidays, beginning of January.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll get locked up, and then, you know, girl straight. We got plenty of money. We're good. I want to clear both names. So December hits. The holidays. So I'm thinking, okay. So I tell her, I said, listen, we're gonna go spend Christmas in Chicago. Then we're gonna fly to New York. We're gonna spend New Year's in New York. And then the last couple of days, we'll spend them, me and you, we'll spend them in Miami together, and then I'll go turn myself in. Perfect plan. The feds had other plans. So I go to Chicago. So now I'm in Chicago, and one of the guys calls me up and tells me, hey, this guy don't want to pay that money. So what happened was the feds had a tap on one of the cops' phone, on one of the cops that was on my case. Yeah, tapped his phone. But these fools didn't know that he was the one that used to put taps on other people's phones. He was gang crime, you know, like big up there. So one day the op and calls him and says, hey, you know, you got this wiretap, but you put your number as the tappee, not the tapper. And he was like, oh, yeah. He was like, oh, man, I'm sorry. Go ahead and cancel the tap. So they're in a van somewhere listening to this shit. So they panic. The feds panic because once he knows that they got a tap on him, he's like, oh, shit, you know. And he already knew, you know, he was already kind of feeling the heat. Yeah, because there was shit going on, you know, and he was bogus. Him and his crew, they were all bogus. These fuckers were
terrible.
A gang with guns and badges, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he kind of groups, you know, he calls me up, hey, come meet me over here. So I go meet him, and he's like, hey, listen, man, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, shit, you the police? I'm like, what's that got to do with me? You the police. I'm not the police.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, letting us know.
What's happening.
Stop, you know, this, that, and the other. So then I fade. I'm in Chicago, but I fade away. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't need to see. I got all this money on me. I'm good. So they catch one of the other guys. They grab him first.
One of your workers.
Yeah, one of the guys. They grab him. And so the dude, the reason they got onto us was the guy that I was telling you about, that his uncle, he got caught earlier that year. He got caught like in February. That's how come I got caught in April.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
He got caught in February. He gave me up for free just to show them that he was going to work with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he gave, and it was funny. I kind of knew because his girl was the only one that knew where I lived. She was the only one that knew where I lived. So when they grabbed him, they threatened her with the kids and everything. So he told them that me and my brother-in-law, that when they did grab us, they had to grab the cop, they had to grab me, and they had to grab my brother-in-law first, because if any of us got away, that we were going to kill his family, all stupid shit. You know, I knew his brothers, sisters. We all grew up together, man. I loved it. His mom was used to take care of all of us. We weren't going to do, but he put that in their minds because he knew. To
protect himself.
Yeah, well, he knew that we were the most dangerous ones, us three, you know. You got a cop on the loose, you got this crazy already on the run for murder, and you got this other one that got a control of a whole. So, you know, yeah, there was a possibility that something could happen.
Yeah.
Not to his family, but anyway. So when they grabbed one of his guys, which was our guy, you know, one of his main guys, they told him, hey, we need Babyface. We need Babyface. So he was like, all right. So he called me up and he was like, hey, Joey don't want to pay that money. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll pick you up at 6 o'clock. He's like, all right, bet. What do? I go get my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law, big goon, you know? So I'm like, hey, come on, man. We might have to collect some money, man. You might have to slap. So he's like, all right, cool. He gets in the car with me.
So they caught both of you guys together.
So we go to the spot, man, and I'm sitting there, you know, and I'm looking at the phone. I'm calling him to come down. Man, all of a sudden I looked up. I thought it was a hit. I looked up and I just seen a bunch of people running towards the car, and I was like, oh, they got us. I'm thinking, because they were coming like this. So I thought, oh, damn, they got us. You know, they got me, you know. But then I looked and I was like, white dudes. I'm looking, and I'm just sitting in the car looking at them, and they're like, get out of the car, get out of the car, you know. And I was like, what? I rolled the window. I cracked the window. I'm like, hey, what? Get out the fucking car. And then they busted out the back window. And I'm like, oh shit, they serious. I said, all right, cool. And I opened, they grabbed us, pulled us out the car and whatever, threw us on the ground. And I was like, damn. Still not thinking nothing. I'm like, I ain't got no road. They grab us.
He's like not thinking anything, like you're living this normal life.
No, I'm thinking. I mean, yeah, I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking it's the
my
feds.
God,
I'm not
yes,
thinking it's the
yes,
feds. That's
yes.
why. So when they get us out the car, they take my brother-in-law. They put him over there, and they put me over here. So what we used to do is we gave each other all girl names. So my name is Nelson, so they used to call me Nelly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But nobody out of the side of the circle called me Nelly. You see? Mm-hmm. So when they split us up, they're talking. Hey, Lieutenant, what's up? So he says, hey, you guys take him. I'm going to take Nelly. I'll take Nelly. So when he said Nelly, I looked at him and I was like, whoa. I said, wait a second. I said, what'd you call me? He was like, oh, nothing. And he put me in the car. So then when he got in the car, I said, hey, what did you call me? And then he was like, Nelson. And I was like, no, you didn't call me Nelson. So we start driving. We got on the expressway. I'm like, what the fuck? I say, hey, where you taking me, man? Next thing you know, boom, we're going in the bottom of a building. I'm like, man, where the fuck y'all taking me? It was the feds.
Dang.
So to reiterate off that, so that was in December. So about a month before that, I had come to Chicago to visit one of my guys. I had brought my guy some stuff. They were already listening to what was going on. Mm. So I had rented a car, called the cop, and told him, hey, I'm in town, man. I'm going to go see Fulano de Tal. I'm going to go see old boy, man. I got some work for him and some whatever. Yeah, he lives out in Berwyn. So they follow me. I go to the crib. Luckily, it's crazy. I had like a half a brick. I put it inside of a boot. Just put it in the closet. When I come out, I leave. Later on that day, he calls me up. He's like, yo, motherfuckers just came and raided the crib and blah, 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 blah. I said, what? Did they find anything? And he's like, nah. I'm like, so I go over there. So when I go over there, man, waiting. They jumped on me. Boom. Pull me out the car. I see a guy coming with a little bag. I'm like, what? He pulls out a screen. He starts taking the doors apart. It was a rental. Man, tore the car. I mean, they searched the car, and all they found, I had a piece of a blunt. Where the drugs? I'm like, what the f*** you talking about? What drugs, man? You can't fuck with me. I'm good, So the cop, he gets my wallet and shit. He's like, what's your name? I said, man, you got my wallet in your hand. He's like, what's your name? I said, you got my wallet in your hand. He goes, oh, you want to play hard ass? Okay, he pulls out. He says, okay, Nelson. Boom. And then they tell him, they go like this to him, right? So as fast as they showed up, that's as fast as they took off. He just threw my wallet on the thing. Said, we'll see you again.
They left the car like that?
They left the car all dangling and shit, doors. So I was like, what? So now I'm putting the hood, I'm putting everything together. I grab my wallet, I'm looking around like, what? Called, Avis. I'm like, hey, police just fucked your car up, man. I need to change cars. So they were like, yeah, just bring it in. What happened? I go, I don't know. They pulled me over and they tore your door panels up. And so they were like, oh, just bring the car. So what do? I get in the car, I go and who do I call? The cop. Yo, man, the fucking police just grabbed me, man, this and that. I'm at the airport, I'm changing cars. Yeah, I'm gonna get a Cadillac. I'm telling them exactly what I'm doing. Oh my God. So this happened, so this cop, the one that was talking shit. So now when I get caught up, they take me up to the thing. And I'm in the room sitting by myself. I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, he comes in. So when I seen him, I was like, man, this guy looks familiar. So he's like, Babyface Nelson, what's going on? I'm like, what's up? Then he's like, starts talking shit, right? I go in Scarface mode on him again. I'm like, man, fuck you. I got the best lawyer in Chicago. By tomorrow, you'll be working in Alaska. I'm talking shit to him. And he's like, lawyer? He says, oh, wait. And he pulls out a picture of my attorney. He goes, ooh, this guy? And I was like, holy shit. I looked and I was like, what the fuck? And he goes, oh yeah, this is a whole different thing. And he presses a recorder. He got the recorder. He presses the recorder. And he starts letting me listen to this tape of us talking about this and that and the other. And I'm like,
wow.
So I'm like, holy shit, Next thing you know, another one comes in with a picture of the cop. He goes, you know this guy? Picture of the other cop. What about this guy? And I'm like, man, I want my lawyer. Guy goes, oh yeah, he wants this guy. And I go, no. I'll get another lawyer. I'm like, no, I'm good. I said, I need a lawyer, you know. But yeah, so then, you know, so now they put us in the bullpen, and then little by little, they start bringing everybody in.
How many co-defendants did you have?
Oh, our first indictment, we had 31 co-defendants. And then 6 months later, they arrested another 30-something. You know, these guys started telling, and they brought in a whole other group of people, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was a big indictment.
Were you the...
Yeah.
You were the main one.
Well, I was one of the main ones, yeah. I mean, it was the cop, and then me, because they knew that I was the link between Miami
and Chicago.
And Chicago, yeah. They knew that I was the link, you know. So...
Wow.
Yeah, so they...
So what were your charges?
So they didn't charge me with RICO, thank God, but they hit me with conspiracy to distribute and oh no, here's the killer part. You want to hear the funny part? So now they turn around and re-indict me for the murder.
You're kidding.
And what they did was they used my co-defendants, because what happened was the guy that told him that I called that he told me that this guy didn't pay the money and I went. He told him, well, you know, baby's crazy, man. If they say that he killed him, then yeah, he probably did because he's a nut. You know, he's crazy. And then they used one of the guy's girl, the one that knew where I lived. She said that I told her. She goes, yeah, he told me he did it because they killed one of his guys. It's true. That was true. But you know,
Yeah.
She told him. You know, she told him. So they used that to re-indict me, to make it look worse, you know, because they really wanted the cop. They wanted all of us, but they really wanted to make these cops look like real bad cops. You know what I mean? And now you got a guy that's on the run for murder, and you're hiding him, and you're a cop.
That's worse.
Yeah, it's worse. You know what I mean? So they made the case look like we were like, you know, oh man. Then they started bringing up all kind of, man, listen.
So much.
Yeah. They had us, I mean, they had me like I was the bubonic plague, like I killed half of Chicago. I was like, damn. Yeah, they were like, no, this guy, he killed it, because now everybody's talking. And everybody's like, well, I heard that he's the one that did this, and I heard he's the one that did that, and I heard that he's the, and I was like, God, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, so they started just telling on, you know, all.
And how long, what did you get sentenced to?
So here's the crazy part. So I get indicted for the murder. So they give me 35 for the murder.
Years.
Which you only got to do 17. And they give me 25 for the drugs, because I had to plea. So what happened was, I didn't want to plea. I wanted to fight the murder, because I already beat it once and I knew I could beat it again. Because I was gonna bring dude back. I was gonna fight it.
Yeah, you were gonna do your thing.
And then they told my lawyer, they said, listen, if he fights this murder, we're gonna fucking fry you on this drug. We're gonna give you life. We're gonna hammer you. So I basically had no choice. But it was stupid, because I got more time for ghost drugs, because they never caught us with no drugs in them, than I did for the murder.
Wow.
Yeah. So I ended up doing 20 for the feds, which ate up the 17. Oh no, and so now I get the 25 and 35, right? They send me off to the prison
What prison did you go to first?
Well, I went to Atlanta, because they were opening up Coleman, which is in Florida. And I requested to go to Florida because I wanted to be down by my girl. So they sent me to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta for like 3 or 4 months, and then they sent me to Coleman. So when I get to Coleman and I get to talking to, I know I got this case pending in Broward County in Fort Lauderdale, the heroin case. So I'm kicking in one of the guys, and the guy tells me, he says, hey, listen, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go down there. You're going to tell them that you're going to plead guilty, that they could give you however much time they want, and that you want the case to run concurrent and coterminous with your federal sentence, because that way, and he explained it to me. So I was like, all right. So I go, I put in the habeas corpus, whatever, boom, they come get me, they take me down there. I get there, first day in court. Girl comes, my public defender. One day, I'm in court one day. I tell her, hey, listen, I'm not here to fuck around. I want to get back to prison. I don't want to, she's like, okay. I swear, I told her I told her, if you tell me okay one more time, because all she kept saying was okay. Because I was like, listen, I need you to do this. This is what I need you to do. I need you to go in there and tell them I already got 35 years over there, 25 years over there. I don't give a fuck. I'll fight you. You guys, you could get the conviction. Give me however much time. I just need to run concurrent and coterminous so that I can get out of here. And she was like, okay. She just kept saying okay, and I was like, this mother.
Yeah.
So then finally, she went out there. She came back. And she was like, okay. And I was like, what? What do you mean okay? She's like, okay, it's done. I was like, for real? She's like, yeah. I said, damn, that shit worked. So then we go out in front of the judge. The judge tells the prosecutor, hey, you got any problems? Blah, blah. And the judge was like, no. You know, they were like, no, we good. So they gave me 25 years.
Wow.
Running concurrent and coterminous with my Fed time.
Yes.
So when my Fed time was over, the state time was over. So it was like nothing. You know, I took it. I was like, yeah.
So you got sentenced to 25 years.
Yeah.
Out of those 25 years, how long did you do?
19 years, 9 months.
19 years. In those 19 years, how many different federal prisons did you go to?
So they were moving me every 2 years because of my status in the gang and because of the police corrupt.
Oh, because you were still doing your thing in there.
Well,
Is the feds the same?
No. So the feds. So what happens in the feds is because I had corrupt police on my case, they thought that I was going to influence the guards. So they would never let me get comfortable. Yeah, it makes sense. So they would never let me get comfortable. I would get to a joint. I would stay there for 18 months, maybe 2 years, and then boom, hey, pack your shit, you're out of here. I'm like, damn, where am I going? Don't worry about it. I started in Atlanta, went to Florida to Coleman. From Coleman, I went to Pennsylvania. From Pennsylvania, I went to Pennsylvania. From Pennsylvania, I went to Texas. From Texas, I went to Colorado. Colorado, I went to Indiana. From Indiana, I went to Illinois. And then from Illinois, I went to New York. And I went home from New York.
Really?
Yeah, I went home from New York.
So what would you say was the craziest prison?
Oh, man, Colorado, without a doubt.
Was that the ADX?
Yeah, well, next door. The USP.
Oh, yeah, USP.
That was the worst prison. It's crazy, though, because the food was phenomenal.
You think because they have the camp right there?
No, I think it's because they got the ADX, right there.
Mm-hmm.
But the food was great. The food there was the best food I ever had in Coleman. When Coleman first opened up, man, we had ice cream machines, we had soda machines, but that's because it just opened up.
Mm-hmm.
After 9/11, like around 2005 is when it started going downhill. But Florence but it was so dangerous, man, because you had Mexican mafia, you had Sureños, you had, DC, Crips, Bloods.
Everything.
You had everything there. You even had Indians, the Navajo, those
natives.
Natives. And they were terrible, man. Them Indians were just as bad as any other group,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And so that was the worst. I'm telling you, man. So I was there for a riot. They had a riot there. It was 420. I'll never forget, because that's when I found out that I didn't know that Hitler's birthday was on April 20th.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I mean, I don't think I knew that either.
Yeah, so I always thought 420 was smoking weed. Yeah. So we're out on the yard, everybody's chilling, we're having a good time, and I'm noticing, I'm peeping we're playing softball, I'm playing softball, and I'm peeping the blancos, the skinheads, whatever the area, whatever the hell they are. I see them getting like a little bit rowdy, and then some Crips walk by and they started, doing the Hitler, and so the Crips were like, yo, what the fuck, and then this and that. So the Crips were like, oh yeah, so they went, and next thing you know, it went up. And that shit was good, man. Like 7 or 8 motherfuckers got killed that day, man. Yeah. It was tripped out. It was crazy. That was the craziest shit. People were getting shot because they were shooting from the tower. Bullets were ricocheting, hitting people, man. Listen, I had a baseball glove. And I don't know how the hell I did, but I swear to God, I was inside that baseball glove. I balled up like this, and I had the glove like this. Because they were shooting, people, man, stabbing. It was nuts, man. That was the craziest shit I ever seen.
Throughout your 19 years.
Yeah, that and that same prison, that was the craziest. Yeah, that prison was the shit, bro. That prison, anybody that tells you that they were in Florence, Colorado and weren't scared, they're lying. Well, that place was the hellhole. It was crazy, man, but the food was good,
Yeah.
And they had good
Yeah, I
programs.
balanced it out.
Well, they had good programs and stuff like that. But the place was it was a Tinder. You know, it could go up at any minute. You know, and it did. And one of the craziest shit I ever seen. There was a dude. He killed. So the guy had killed his father in a bank robbery. Stick up. You know, they did a bank robbery and then he killed the father and took everything.
Oh my goodness.
Guy ends up getting locked up. The kid was locked up. The kid did also followed his father and did a bank robbery. They gave him 15 years. He had like 2 years left. And this is the crazy shit about prison. Everybody in that prison or everybody in our unit knew that this kid was going to kill that guy, and the guy didn't know.
It's how it goes.
It's almost like they wanted it to happen. You know what I mean? Like everybody was like, "Shh, don't say nothing." But this guy's going to kill him. Yeah, and everybody was looking. And the kid went. The kid went and
energy.
The kid went and he made a knife out of this piece of metal, big ass knife. And the guy went, and he was an older guy, you know, and he went and got in the shower, and the kid sat on the stairs and waited. And when the shower turned off, he knew that the guy was coming out. And when the guy came out, he just got up and the first time he hit him in the neck.
Ooh.
Boom. And when he hit him in the neck, the guy freaked out. He was like, what the hell? He stabbed him so many times. He tried to take his head off. He was trying to take his head off because he was hitting him so hard that the shit was sparking. It was pew. It was like when he
Wow.
when he hit him, the freaking sparks were coming off the ground.
You're kidding.
And everybody, you know, the first thing you do is you go with ice, you go take a shower because you're going on lockdown. So I was like, oh shit, every time I was like, ooh, oh, ooh, you know, he was just bang, 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 hitting him. And then, until he got tired. And then the only reason that because the cop was, you know, he was doing whatever. And then he must have looked up and seen, and he was like, because he's seen everybody looking, and he must have looked and been like, oh shit, he hit the deuces. It's called the deuces. That's when they all come running. He hit the deuces, and everybody came, you know, the police came and everything like that, whatever. And the kid just kind of threw it, and he just sat, he was like, full of blood. I mean, the blood was just dripping over oh my God, it was disgusting.
Wow.
That was the wild, I was like, and they begged him. His homies told him, man, don't do it, bro. Don't do it, bro. You're going to, you know, man, you got
going home.
Yeah, and they gave him, I think they gave him like life. I think they gave him life. Because
Wow.
if you would have just stabbed him a couple times.
Because of how intense it was.
Yeah, the dude's neck, I mean, he literally tried to take his head off.
Dang.
But he was like, nah, he killed my dad, he killed my father. You know? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that
That's
shit was
pretty
wild.
intense.
I seen another, I remember one, they were playing cards, and that was right after the riot. This Blanquito, he didn't move out. He didn't ride with the Blanquito. He didn't do nothing. And then when they opened up, they were playing cards, and the guy walked up with a pick and hit him, and he died with the cards in his hand. He died. He stood like this with the cards, man. He like, because he must have
Hit a
broke his spine and shit, and he, right through.
Wow.
The guy just stood there like this. I was like, what the? Yeah, that shit was crazy, man. Colorado, Florence was, when I left there, I literally cried when I left.
Of happiness.
Yeah, because I used to say, hey, man, this is it right here. This is it. I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to die.
Wow.
Because, you know, there was the only thing that saved us, and when I say us, I mean Midwest, because, you know, because
Midwest people sit together.
yeah, you had to. The only thing that saved us was that one of the guys, he figured out a way to get shit into the prison. You know, I'm not gonna say, I don't know if you see this. And
The whole world,
I don't
even the feds.
I don't want to blow up how he did it.
Don't worry.
But he was able to get heroin in, and you know, there was like 2 or 3 black hands, which is the Mexican mafia, that were on the compound, and they told us, they said, listen, we don't give a fuck how you get it in, or that, but you need to let us get rid of, you know, you need to let us, you know?
Uh-huh.
Old boy was like, shit, okay, I ain't got no problem with that. So he would get it in, he would give all of us a little, you know, so that we could get our little
You
money
make your
going.
own little money, huh?
And then he'd and they would pay him. They paid. They never, you know, they weren't like taking it, gangstering it from us.
Yeah.
They were paying, but they had control of it, and we were fine with that. Take the heat off us. Go ahead, y'all do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And then what I would do with mine, you know, there's a couple blanquitos and shit. I'll be like, yeah, I need some commissary here, man. And they'd be like, all right, and I have lockers full of shit, you know.
Yeah.
But I believe, because you don't want to fuck, you know, all we got to do is be like, hey, man, They're
that's-
fucking with us, yeah.
Because you're messing up the
right,
plugs.
and
Yup.
they were deep. They were deep, you know. So
Wow.
that kind of
It's on your.
yeah, that kind of
Can we get a paper towel?
No, that's cool. I'll just put it right in here. Save it for later. So that shit. I remember in prison, but I had a piece of gum for like a year.
You're kidding?
Fuck yeah, I used to save
What?
that motherfucker. I saved that motherfucker. I got a piece of gum. I used to chew it, and then I would like dip it in Kool-Aid, and then put it somewhere.
For a whole year.
I had it for at least a year
You're kidding.
until it wouldn't chew no more. Yeah, those are little perks, man.
No,
Shit,
for
those
sure,
are little
for
perks,
sure.
man.
Let me ask you, what was the nicest thing that you feel like that you experienced through those 19 years that you remember? Like you're like, damn, that was very nice.
It had to be when I graduated because I took, I was programming. I knew that. I listened to my elders. So when I got to Coleman, I met this Cuban dude. There was a Cuban dude. I thought he was black because he's black as ace of spades, and he already did a bunch of time, and he saw this Che, so he thought I was Cuban. So when I got there, because when you first get there, there's people from all the different groups. Hey, where you from? Oh, you from California? Hey, there goes you guys over there. Hey, you from, so when I got there, I was like, yeah, I'm Boricua, I'm Puerto Rican, blah, blah, I'm from Chicago. They were like, oh, Puerto Ricans will come and holler at you, So he was listening because he saw that. And when I said I was Puerto Rican, he was confused, but he stood listening. And they were like, oh, where you from? What you blah, 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 blah. Yeah, your people are here, da, 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 whatever. So when they walked, they were, telling me a few things. And then when they walked away, he was like, bah, don't listen to them fools, man. Don't be listening to that. Go do this. Listen, bro, I'm going to tell you, man, if you're trying to stay out of trouble, stay away from drugs, faggots, and gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from them three things, the gays, the drugs, and you'll be all right. And so we started kicking it. He goes, hey, you Cuban? I said, nah, I'm Puerto Rican. He's like, why you got Che? I was like, man, it's a long story. When I was younger, I was a rebel. He's a rebel, whatever. So me and him got real cool. We ended up doing a bunch of time together, and we kept meeting in different spots. And then at the end, he came to where I was at.
New York.
In New York, yeah, he came to where I was at. And, he had like, because he's one of the old Cubans, so they didn't have an out date. And
Wait, old Cubans didn't have
yeah,
out dates?
well, he had like 200 years or some crazy shit like that, He ended up getting out, and we ended up hooking up. I've seen him, we talk all the time and stuff. But I say that to say, so he told me, he said, Papi, let me tell you something. You got to program. Whatever I don't care what, just program. So when I went to New York, when I was in New York, they had it was a KSAC program, which was to become a substance abuse counselor, to become a counselor. And it was pretty cool because I did 18 months of college, it was good. It was fun. It took me back to a time when, like I told you, I was always good at school, man. I was always good in school. It was when I left school that I was bad. But as far as like books, I tell people, I say, I don't know everything, but I know a little bit about a lot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I could hold a conversation with the best of them because I know a little bit about a lot of shit, And it's through life, through life experiences that you learn stuff, So yeah, that was probably one of my, that, and of course, like my son. So my son used to come visit me every year, and he was a trip. My son would be like, "Hey, where do you think they're gonna send you next?" And I'm like, "Man, I don't know." And he goes, "Hey, can you get to, Seattle, whatever?" He'd be like, "Hey, can you get over here?"
Because he wants to go to.
Yeah, because he wants to go. Hey, can you get to New Orleans? I never been to New Orleans. Can you get to Texas? Stuff like that. And whenever they would send me to a different spot, he would always,
Would he go by himself or with his mom?
No. His godmother. So she was my godmother, and then she baptized him. So she was my godmother. She's the one that, she basically raised them.
Okay.
Because she was a teacher. She was, the whole thing.
And what, did you have girls visit you or no?
Yeah, I had, little here and there, depending on where I was at, because it's the feds, they send you.
They send you everywhere, yeah.
So it's hard for somebody, but my cousins used to come visit me. Like when I was in New York, I got mad visits because I had family in New York. When I was in Texas, I got mad visits because I have friends in Texas. When I was in Indiana, of course, in Illinois, I got visits because it was close, yeah. When I was in Florida, all the time, I got visits.
Because your girl was there.
Right, my niece was there. My brother was there, so yeah, I was getting visits all the time.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool, you know. But that's how you do your time, though.
Yeah.
You know, you do your time.
And it probably makes it easier. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
moving around for 2 years, every 2 years, probably made your time go by a lot faster,
It did,
or no?
It did, but it was kind of that because, you know, you just getting, you know, you were just getting, so I figured it out too, that if you're programmed, they won't transfer you. So like when I got to New York, I already knew that that was going to be my last spot because when I got to New York, I had like 3 years left.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this program. That's 18 months. And I was already there for like 4 or 5. So I said, they're not going to transfer me no more. This is my last stop. And that was my only medium. Because I was in all I went to penitentiary.
Yes.
I went to penitentiary,
All of
all the
them.
penitentiaries, man. I never made it. You know, they would never send me. And another thing they would do is, the assholes, which was not, I mean, it made people, you know, look at you a little, because whenever we would get to wherever we were going, the lieutenant or the captain would get on the bus and he would have my file and he would call my name. And everybody would be like, damn, what the fuck did you do? And I'd be like, damn, I get up and take me off by myself and take me straight to the captain's office and the ward. And, you know, they'd be there. Yeah, we know who you are. We know, you better not start no shit here. And I'm like, damn, you guys are the ones that brought me here. I was fine where I was at. Did I start any shit over there? No.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, but they let you know. We know who you are. We know this and that and the other. Don't start no shit. Won't be no shit. You know? And then for the most part, I would use that in my favor because I'd be like, look, man, Lou, just give me a good job, man. Just give me a job, man. Let me program. I'm out of your hair. And they'll be like, all right, we need somebody. I'll be like, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because they give you halfway decent job if you work like in receiving or you work in the hospital. You just don't want to work in the kitchen. You
Yeah.
don't want to work in the yard. Shit like that. Those jobs, man, those are rough, man. You know, you down in Texas, it's 100 degrees and they want you to cut the grass.
Yeah, I'm not
I don't
doing
think
that.
so. Or
Yeah.
you're in New York and Raybrook, man, it was snow. They had them little, you know, with the blowing the snow, they would just literally make paths. They would take from your unit to the child hall and to the school building, you know, and all the units go like this, and it would be like snow would be this high, you couldn't even see. You know,
Wow.
yeah, it was weird. It was crazy. It was snow like crazy. They used to tell us all the time. They used to tell us, hey, that fence is not there for you guys to keep you guys in. That fence is there to keep them animals from getting in here and eating your ass.
Facts.
Because they had bears and cougars and out there. The fence was like 28 feet high.
Wow.
And it was like tripled because, you know, they had all kind of animals. And then what they would do is, on purpose, the rover would feed. He would feed the bears and whatever, the lions. He would, or not lions, but cool, whatever they were. He would feed them. They would throw shit out the windows so that way.
Yeah, they would come.
Yeah. And you go out there and I'd be like, what the is that? I'll be looking, is that a leopard? What the is that? I'd be like,
Seriously?
yeah, there was all kind of shit. Bears, I was like, hell no.
Wow.
So they used to tell you straight up, go ahead.
Try to run, fool.
Go ahead. Y'all see how far you make it. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, because we were way up in the mountains.
And what year did you come out?
In 16.
2016.
Matter of fact, next year, is it? Yeah, next year. Yesterday was my 9-year anniversary.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. So next year will be 10 years that I've been home.
What would you say was the saddest thing for you through your 19 years? Or that you saw it, you were like, damn, this is sad, or for you, you know what I mean?
There was several, you know, there was, losing a couple friends, you know.
Got it.
Because, you know, when you're locked up, man, you bond. You know, when you got like a cellie and you guys are together all the time and,
Yeah.
you know, you basically break down and you get into some intimate detail, you know, stuff like that. So, like, if their parents die, whatever, you know,
feel it
it
as
breaks
well.
your heart, yeah. But, yeah, one of the saddest things, probably, I mean, besides losing family members and stuff, thank God, you know, my mom, you know, waited for me to get out before she passed. And my godmother, too. My godmother passed away as soon as I got out, though. That was fucked up. Because that was my heart, man. That was my, you know.
She was there
that
for
lady,
you
yeah,
through
she
your
raised
whole-
me. I mean, not raised me, but she, from the time I was like 14, she, you know, basically kind of tried to rein me in a little bit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because moms was just like, I can't handle this guy. So my godmother, but I still was bad, you know. But I'll tell you what. A lot of shit didn't happen because of her voice in my head, you know, like,
Oh, yeah.
like there was times where I was like ready to do something and I would hear her, Nelson, and I would like, oh, you're lucky. Today you're lucky. I'll get you tomorrow, you know, and I would leave them alone, you know, not
Yes.
do nothing. So, but it could have been I would have did that and maybe got caught.
Yes,
you know,
it would have
something
been
like that.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was so. Yeah, you know that, like I said, you know, losing a couple good guys in there, man. You know, there was a couple dudes that passed away and shit. You know, or got killed.
In there.
You know, in there. That. But yeah, thank God, man. I thank God that I didn't lose like no real
I understand.
family member, you know, like brother, sister, mother, father, shit like
Yes.
that, you know. So shit. My co-defendant, the one that I had one of my co-defendants just came home, and man, he lost his mom and dad to COVID. Bam, a week apart. Dad died on Tuesday, mom died on Friday. Yeah,
Wow.
that shit broke my heart. 'Cause that's my guy, you know. And I was like, and that was, you know, I was like, damn. You know, so
Yeah,
but
sad.
I was already home, but still,
For
you know.
him, he felt. Because you know the
bro.
feeling of being in there. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh.
No, and I knew, you know, his dad loved the shit. His mom was, you know, she was mean, but his dad loved the shit out of us, man. His dad loved us to know. He always used to tell his mom, leave him alone, you know. And he would always, you know, he was always with us, you know, like that. So, and I knew how close he was with his dad. So that's what hurt me. And my co-defendant too. When my father-in-law passed away, because my brother-in-law, he was like this with his dad. So when my father-in-law passed away, you know, I felt for him. You know, I felt bad for him because I knew, man, he's not going to be able to go see him. And all his father kept saying was, man, I just want my son to come home. I just want to see my son. I just want to see my son. So that shit broke.
Yeah.
That shit was rough.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah,
That's
that
pretty
shit was rough. You know, but
So-
yeah, it's about
So 9 years you've been home. No,
yeah.
6 years. No, 9 years. 9 years.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
How was it for you when you came home?
Oh shit, it was wild, man. Because you know they gave me 10 months halfway house.
Okay.
So the first halfway house that I went to, we were only there because they were opening up a new halfway house.
Did you in Miami?
No, here.
here,
in
okay.
Chicago, yeah, they wouldn't let me go to Miami. So I tried, but they wouldn't let me. They said I had to come back to the place where I got.
I went to a halfway house in Miami.
Oh yeah. Where's it at?
It's by Calle Ocho.
Oh, okay, it's right now. Oh, you know what? Matter of fact, did you say that? I was just in Miami this weekend, and I saw them. They're like a Salvation Army. You could sit like there's like a little balcony type where you could sit.
Maybe it's different. It's been a few. It's been since 2012.
Because it was on Calle Ocho, because we were walking, and my daughter-in-law was like, hey, wow, what these guys? And I looked up, and I was like, hey, what's up, brothers? How you doing, man? I banged my heart, and they were like, hey, what's up? And I knew right away, because they were sitting there, you know, and they were looking,
Like
and
you
they were
can, yeah.
smoking, you know, and they were like, fucking, there was a little fence, you know, if they
Yeah.
wanted to. But it was a Salvation Army, so that's...
No, it wasn't a Salvation Army.
this
though.
was a
I forgot the
Salvation
name
Army,
of it,
yeah.
but they
Yeah.
probably have a few, you know.
Yeah.
Now,
But yeah,
so you came out here.
Yeah, here, and they had a halfway house over here on Ashland. But you know, I was only there for like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and then they moved us to the new one. And while we were over here, it was nice. You know, it was decent, man. You know, for breakfast you had 2 hours outside, for lunch you had 2 hours, and for dinner you had 2 hours, because you had to leave the building to go to the kitchen.
Oh.
The kitchen was around the corner.
Oh,
so
dang.
they would give you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They let you go for 2 hours, you know, because you had to walk over there, and they let you. And then they had like a parking lot. So what I would do is in the morning, we would go get breakfast and then walk the track. Well, walk the parking lot, and then go inside, do our chores, lift weights, and then for lunch and dinner, we would have family bring us. Like if you know you wanted to come see me, I'd be like, okay, what are you doing Thursday at lunch? You'd be like, oh, I'll meet you Thursday. Oh, bring me Portillo's, or bring me some pizza, or bring me whatever.
Yeah.
Girl, I gained 10 pounds. I gained 7 pounds. I gained 7 pounds the first week that I gained a pound a day, because I was trying to eat everything. I was trying to eat everything, man. I was like, yo, bring me this, bring me that. Hell yeah, well, bring it. I don't care, man.
Whatever it is, bring it.
I was eating like a mother. I was eating everything.
Wow.
Yeah, man, because, you know.
Yeah, no, you were gone for
Yeah.
19 years.
Yeah. So,
Let me ask you, what is something, because you've been out for,
Yeah.
9 years. What is something that you still do that you did while you were incarcerated? He's like, everything.
I mean, you know, it's funny because you know, believe it or not, you get structure. You know, like
Yes.
like right now, like I'm having not a situation, but there's like work is slow, and I'm getting nervous. I be telling these guys, man, bro, I'm gonna have to find another job. They're like, why? And I'm like, because there's nothing to do, man. And because I want to keep, I got to stay active and stuff like that. But I mean, I'll tell you what I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Like, did you
I mean,
come
I
home
still
and have
sleep.
your shower shoes in the shower? Like,
No, I don't do the shower shoes no more because I'm at home. But I'll tell you what I do. I got a king size bed and I only sleep in the little corner of it. That whole side of the bed is I don't ever use it. And if I do go on that side, I stay in that side. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I don't move around. It's funny, man,
just
because
use your little-
I just use because I'm so used to sleeping in that little bed that I still, you know, and I, you know, I still hear keys. I still hear,
Really?
yeah. I still, to this day, man, that shit traumatized me, man.
no, of course.
I still hear keys. You know, sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be like, you know, like, what the fuck, you know? So, but,
What was the hardest thing to adjust to?
probably, I mean, the hardest thing was like being told no all the time. You know, you go for a job interview, no. You go for it, no. You go here, no. I was like, what the man? You know, they didn't tell you this, you know, they didn't
Yeah.
tell you, you know what I mean? So then my mind started reverting back to, oh, okay, you guys are gonna keep telling me no?
Oh, no.
I'm gonna have to, you know, do what I gotta do to survive. But then I got lucky, I got blessed. And I got a job and then and I'm still at that job, you
Oh,
know?
good.
So yeah, that was a blessing, you know? So, but yeah, that was the hardest thing was, you know, just always being told no, man. It was like, no this, no that, no this, no.
What about technology?
Oh, Jesus. To this day, look at it. I told you, I don't have Facebook. I don't have Instagram, Facebook. I mean, what's the other one? Snapchat and Twitter. None of that. I don't got none of that shit.
He's like, I barely even email.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. Email you have to sometimes but it's so funny though, because when I remember I came home, I'm like, man, y'all always on your phone. I ain't gonna, and I don't, but I can't be without my phone because that's where you pay all your bills. You know, that's your lifeline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's like you always, it's funny because back in the day, it used to be pistol, wallet, keys. You know?
Yes.
Pistol, wallet, and keys. Now it's phone, wallet, keys, you know?
Yeah.
So
You got to substitute one for the other.
yeah. Substitute one for the other. That's why I never lost my pistol, so I'll never lose my phone. You know? I never dropped it. I never did. So my phone is nice and, you know,
That's
Yeah, my
funny.
phone is- yeah.
How you feel?
good. I'm great. I feel blessed, man. I feel, you know, I've done a few seminars like with, so I'm actually part of I'm on the associate board of this non-for-profit called Urban Initiatives.
Nice.
And what they do is they use play, you know, soccer and sports as a means to get into the recess. You know, remember back in the day when we had recess, we used to play.
Yeah.
You know, we used to go outside and play. These kids nowadays, they just go out there and they don't want to do nothing. So they use that. So I'm on their advisory board, you know, and I do seminars, you know, I talk to the kids and stuff like that. I'm also a part of, we work with this other non-for-profit called Also. They're big into like their interrupters, you know, they work with the gangs and, you know, they work with the streets.
Which
more.
is good. You probably feel more comfortable doing that, huh? Like,
Yeah.
it's like to
well,
help
we
the
collaborate. We collaborate with, you know,
Okay.
we all collaborate together and stuff because we're all on the same mission. Basically, save these kids, man. Get
Yes.
these kids off the streets, you know?
Yes.
And, you know, one of my main speaking points is, you know, when I start and I always tell them, you know, and it's crazy, man, because, you know, how many of you know somebody that's locked up and all the hands go up? How many of you know somebody that got shot? How many of y'all know somebody that got killed? How many of your parents locked, you know, and it's like bing, bing,
Wow.
bing, bing, and it's crazy. I'm like, damn, you know? But, you know, and I always tell them, hey, listen, man, all these little friends you got and all these little girls and all this shit that you think is all good. I said, when the shit goes down, you better be ready. Because when you look back, the only person that's going to be there is your mother.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Not your father, not your brother, not your sister, not your aunt, uncle,
Yeah.
your mother.
Yeah.
That's the only person. My mom sent me $50 every month. Every month, the whole time I was locked up. Never did I miss that $50. Sometimes she sent me more if she went to the casino and hit, you know, and she sent me a little extra, you know? And that's when I knew that she, you know, and I used to call my mother. Every Monday I would call my mother. When I came home, I used to call her every Monday. If I called her on Tuesday, oh no. If I called her on Sunday, she's like, what do you want? I'm like, Mom, I'm calling to say what's up. She's like, well, call me tomorrow. And if I didn't call her on Monday for whatever reason, if I didn't call her on Monday for whatever reason, I'd call her Tuesday. She'd make my dad pick up the phone and tell her, dile a maricón ese que I don't want to talk to him until Monday. And I used to be like, what the fuck? I used to be like, all right, Mom. Straight up.
Because you're messing up a program, man.
Yeah. She was so used to me calling on Monday. Yeah, it was hilarious. I'd be like, damn. You know? Yeah. It's crazy,
That's
man.
funny. That's
Yeah.
funny.
But yeah, that was, so, I just feel so blessed, man. Now, and it's funny because the turning point was.
I'm like, hey, I thought there was no helicopters. No.
Yeah, that's probably the news. It's probably the news.
Hey, there's no helicopters.
I mean, they have them, but they're most of the time they're by the lake, catching drowning people, or something like that. But most of the time, the footage will be from the news.
Got it.
But what was I gonna tell you?
It's so funny.
You're thankful.
Yeah, you're so thankful. Yes.
Yeah, no, I know, but I was gonna say something about being thankful.
You're just thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I am. Like I said, I feel I'm blessed. The turning point. So I remember one time I was in, I want to say I was in Louisiana. Yeah, I was in a penitentiary in Louisiana. And I don't know if you guys probably remember it. There was like one of the first mass shootings in one of these parks. Like 18 people got shot. It was just fucking nuts. And prior to that, there was a lot of shit going on. So the guys would always be like, yo, man, what is going on in Chicago? Man, it's crazy, man. Chicago's crazy. And I used to be like, yeah, man, But I was already getting tired of it, the whole life thing,
Yes.
And then I remember that day, my guy was like, hey, come here, look, check this out. And I looked and I recognized and I was looking, man, and I saw 18, and I seen all these people, bunch of kids, holding their legs. Thank God, I think only one person got killed, but 18 people got shot, Man, it just something inside of me just clicked, man, and I just walked away and I went in my room and I shut the door and I started crying. I'm talking about bawling. I just started crying like I was holding all this in. And I just started crying and crying and crying. And then it was like, I stopped crying and it was just like,
You felt better.
I came out to the yard. I was like, yo, call the fellas, man. They all came. And I was like, listen, I'm done. Because wherever I went, they always had to put security on me and all that bullshit. And then I was an asshole too. I used to it'd be 40 below and I'd be like, yeah, I want to go outside. And they'd be like, dude, it's fucking 40 there. I don't care. I want to go outside. And they'd be like, God damn, I used to, just to be an asshole. Yeah, just to be, and it just, and I was like, listen, man, I'm not doing this no more. They're like, no, what do you mean, man? They still,
You still did.
I still did, but I just told them, listen, I'll advise. I'm not running. You guys are doing fine. So. Yeah, it just like lifted. It was just this thing lifted off me, man. And it wasn't, I wasn't praying and then, this and that. I wasn't like, oh God, this and that. Me and God got an understanding,
For sure.
We got an understanding. But, it was, it drew me closer to him. I ain't gonna lie. It drew me a little bit more religion as far as, I tell people, I read the Bible from the front to the back and then from the back to the front. But it was under, not duress, but, you get locked down, we were doing 5-6 months locked down. So like, if I was going to read this book, I'm reading every word. Yeah. Everything. I'm reading everything. I'm reading what it says back here. I'm reading everything. Cause
Yeah.
And then luckily like I said, my godmother was a teacher and one of her best friends, who's also one of my, she was a good friend of mine, was a librarian. So what they would do is they would always send me books.
Okay.
They would always send me books. And then I was just flying through the books. I was just reading, I need some more books. They're like, damn, we just sent you. I need more books. So then what they started doing was they started sending me different authors. Okay, well, read this guy, then read this guy, then read this guy. Then I started going through those. So then they started sending me like the big, fat, with the little words, you know, so that it'll take me at least a week or 10 days to read the book. Because when we go on lockdown, we literally listen. You know how people get prepared for disaster. You know, in Miami, you got water, you got batteries, you got generator, you got this, that, that. I know in prison, you have your bag with your noodles, your crackers, your peanut butter, your, you know, shit that's gonna maintain you, because the food is horrible, especially when you're locked down. And then you got your magazines and your books and stuff.
yeah.
So I would literally have a stack of books put in the corner where I wouldn't even read, I wouldn't touch them
For emergency.
until we would go on lockdown. And then we go on lockdown, I'll start reading the books. And then as you read them, you pass them, you send them to other people and stuff like that. But yeah, that was, you know, you had to be prepared and stuff, because
Wow.
at any given moment,
You're going down.
at any given moment, man, you know. So, you know, I always think Cypress Hill, you know, when the shit goes down, you better be ready, you know.
Yeah.
So it
Wow.
was never a dull moment, I'll tell you that. Yeah. And the feds is so different than the state, you know.
I never been to state, only to the feds.
Yeah, the feds, you know, well, you know that you're dealing with, so like, you know, you deal with Chicago people, but then you got people from all these different states.
Yeah, I did my time in Minnesota.
Ah, okay. What, you in Duluth?
It was
Or
in
Sans-
Waseca.
Oh, Waseca, yeah, that turned women's, yeah.
It was a man's
It
before,
was,
though.
yeah. It was, when we were there, it was men. It was men, and then they turned it to women. Because a lot of women started getting locked up.
Yeah.
A lot of girls started getting locked up. They started indicting all these girls, especially like with the gangs and stuff.
Yeah,
They
I got
started
RICO
locking them.
indicted.
Yeah. So how much time did you do?
5.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because it was 75 of us.
Yeah. Oh.
Because you don't know
damn.
anything about me, because
Yeah.
you don't even watch YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. For real. That's true. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm missing out on a lot of stuff there. I'm missing out.
No, YouTube has everything, though.
No, I
how
know.
to make a cake, how to change a tire, how to...
Oh no, I know. I've done well. So it's popped up like for instance, the other day I wanted my car, the blinker went out, so I put in. I didn't put YouTube. I just put
On Google.
hey, my blinker, blah 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 blah, and then it popped up, and I pushed the button. And it was YouTube. It was showing me a little tutorial about how to do the light and blah blah. And I was like, oh shit, you know. But I didn't even pay attention. I just okay. I know what I have to do, you know. So, but yeah, I just people talking about all this TikTok and you know, I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
How much more do we have? Wrap it up.
wrap it up.
Okay.
Wrap it up. You want me to rap? Ah, I'm awesome.
Did you know? Did you meet any cool people there?
Oh man, that's one thing. I met a lot of people, man. I met a lot of a lot of like famous. It's crazy because we were watching the town with the robbers with Ben Affleck and stuff.
Yes.
I was locked up with them dudes.
Really?
Yeah, I was locked up with you know, all the dudes from New York, the
BMF guys?
Yeah, the BMF guys, the dudes, the Bloods, the Crips,
Everybody.
I was locked up with a little bit of everybody, man. All those Mexican mafias, the Aryans, I was locked up with a whole bunch of different, that when you see them, you're like, oh shit, that's old boy, mafia, a lot of mafia dudes.
Yeah.
I was locked up with a lot of them, especially when I was in New York. But yeah, I'm, funny story, true story. That Ja Rule. So he comes to the prison, right, in New York, and he's on the compound, whatever. So I'm with my guys and shit, you take pictures. So he's taking pictures with all these dudes. We're waiting to take a picture. So, boom, it's our turn. So we all, we're not even saying nothing to this dude. So we all go to get in the group, and he's like, oh, hey, guy, where you want me to stand? And we looked at him. We're like, what?
Hey, you're reading my picture?
Yeah, we're like, what? And then he's like, yeah, where y'all want me to stand and shit? So, me being an asshole, I go, who the fuck are you? And he goes, oh, you don't want me in the pit? So then one of the guys from New York goes, come on, Face. You know who he is. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy, man? Get the fuck out of here, nigga. We gangsters, man. Get out of here, And he was like, oh. And then the dude from New York was like, yo, them dudes from Chicago, man. And he was like, oh. And then we got in the picture. We were like, oh, what's up? And he was looking at shit. He was looking like, and then afterwards and shit, I just look. He was looking at us like, damn. I'm like, man, get out of here, man. Ja Rule, man.
I love that.
Yeah.
Justin, who was the biggest gangster in New York that you interacted with?
Man. So I'd have to say Boy George. Boy George was probably the biggest. No,
I'm sweating off
oh.
my life ago.
Oh yeah, he was probably Boy George. Oh man, what was this kid's name, man? There was man, old school cat, man. He was like from back in the Nicky Barnes days. He
Wow.
was cool as fuck, man. I was with La Kika, which is Pablo Escobar's main, the one that they charged with, with the bombing. Yeah, the one that they charged for the Avianca bombing. Mm-hmm. Great dude, man. He's incredible, man. Yeah, I was with him. He was in New York with me. But I'd have to say, out of New York, I'd have to say Boy George. Boy George was like the biggest. He was straight gangster back in the day. You know, there was some crews though, man. I ain't gonna lie. There was a couple dudes that I interacted with from New York, man. I still got one of my little buddies, man. You know, he had a life plus 30 or whatever, and I got to see him. He got out, you know. But they had these crews, man. They had these like, you know, CNC or whatever, just blocks, you know,
Yeah.
buildings. And them dudes, man, they were killers, man. They were killing shit up, you know. And I used to be like, but they were about the money, you know. It was about the money. They ran like certain blocks.
Yes.
But yeah, as far as like, you know, notorious, infamous shit, Boy George, without a doubt.
Wow.
Yeah, he was one of the, you know. But then, like when you look at it, you know, like Negri from the Nietas, he was the leader of the Nietas, which is a Puerto Rican gang. Georgie from the 27, from the 27, which is the 27th, another Puerto Rican gang. You know, I was with Gino from the Kings, Latin Kings, Larry Hoover, you know, Marvel, all the, you know, BDs, all, you know, I was with a bunch of, you know.
I mean, you did a lot of time.
Yeah. I was with a lot of, like the Black Hands. I was with Little Joe. I was with, you know, you name it, man. I met a lot of dudes, man, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank God you're home, huh?
Yeah.
And thank God you were able to see your mom.
Yeah.
She was able
Got
to talk
spend-
shit to you again, face to face.
Yeah. I was able
Did
to
she ever
spend-
visit you when you were?
Yeah.
Okay.
She surprised. Matter of fact, so I got an uncle that lived in Tampa, and when I was in Coleman, she surprised me and shit. And my mom bogus too. She brought me a
Hey, his mom was down.
brought me a gold rosary and shit, you know, stashed in and shit. She was like, she scared the shit out of me because she was like, Mijo, I got something for you. And I was like, what, Ma? What? She goes, I got something for you. I go, what? She goes, un rosario. And I was like, for real? She was like, yeah. I said, okay, yeah, but put that shit right there, you know. She played it off, put it on, you know, and I just grabbed it. Let's go take pictures. I just took it and I put it on, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had a gold rosary, you know, little things like that. If you know
That you could.
that you know, people, you know, it goes a long way.
No, for sure. Like,
Yeah,
who
you
does
know,
that?
I remember dudes used to come from other units. Yo, Face, let me use your rosary so I can take pictures, man. I'm like, here, man. You know, yeah, it was crazy, man. Yeah, it's true. You know, whatever. If you had
Everything.
something that nobody had, you know.
Especially when you travel in feds, when you
Yeah.
travel from different prisons,
Yeah.
they have different things in
Yes.
every prison. So
Yes.
you had probably like all the cool stuff.
Yeah, well, I did. I mean, but then again, sometimes you go to other places and they take it
Take
from
it.
you because they like, oh, we don't sell that here or we don't have that here. So they kind of, you know, but, you know.
Wow.
But all in all, yeah, truly a blessing, man. Truly a blessing to be home and you know, changed my surroundings, changed my life all the way around.
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
like I don't,
Yes.
you know, I still, you know, talk to a few of my guys and stuff like that. But if you got one foot in, one foot out, I really can't mess with you because I don't want to, you know.
I agree,
I already
yes.
know how the feds work, you know, and they don't.
And it's you, it's Babyface.
Yeah, they don't, you know, all the shot you. They catch somebody up and I'm anywhere in the middle. They're going to be
Yes.
like, oh, boom, you know. So
God
I'm
forbid,
not,
yes.
yeah, I'm not, you know, I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. I want to retire and go chill out in Puerto Rico and you know, just continue living life, man.
Thank God,
you know?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing.
No, without a doubt.
Eh.
Anytime, yeah.
I'm super happy that I came with my
Yeah,
husband and,
yeah.
you know, he reached out to
Yeah.
his friend
I'm glad that I was recommended.
and
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are doing a good thing.
Thank you.
If this could, you know, if it reaches if one person sees this and changes their life,
That's right.
We're successful.
That's right. And that's the goal of my channel, just so
Yeah.
you know. That's my goal. It's not like it's not about glorifying prison life.
Right. No, of course
it's
not.
not
Yeah.
about that. It's about, reaching at least one person.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for 3 years.
Okay, good.
And I've had a lot of people reach out to me and tell me, because of you, I was able to get through my son's incarceration. Because of
Yeah.
you, I got sober. Because of you, this,
Yes,
that.
yes.
So that's the purpose of my channel.
That's what I always say. That I always tell these guys, man, if one kid listens and pays attention and changes his ways, then
did
it was a
something good.
success. It
That's
was a
right.
success. You
That's
know what
right.
I mean?
That's right.
And that's all that I look at the youth today, and it's sad, man. But I was part of that. I'm part of the reason that they are. Well, not the reason they are the way they are, but
Yes.
we didn't.
We didn't think.
Yeah.
And you were young as well. Hey, what can
Yeah.
What can we do? What
Yeah.
can we do? But
know,
again, Nelson, thank
product
you
of the
so much.
environment,
Yeah, there you go. That part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Thank you again.
no, I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
No, of course.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram.